Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
Extra, extra! Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Texarkana, Texas, on the campus of Liberty Eylau High School. I'm Todd Robinson, your host of tonight's pregame show with Mr. Joe Dodd. We are in week number 3 in our district competition, and we go up tonight against the vaunted Liberty Eylau Leopards. They come into tonight's game at 5-2. They are 4-2, excuse me. They're 5-2, as Joe corrects me there. They have lost to only Van and to Pine Tree in the opening game. Of course, with Coach Davis here coming in brand new, they are just kind of getting warmed up in terms of new offense and where they stand. Obviously, all of the speed, all the athleticism that we normally see from Liberty Eylau is still here in Liberty Eylau in Texarkana, just completely loaded up. So they always play us well. We talked about on the coaching show, Joe, that Liberty Eylau always plays Gilmer very close. But we are now well into the district competition. 3 teams come into tonight's contest at 2-0. That would be Liberty Eylau, that would be Gilmer, and that would be Pleasant Grove, that are all in the district championship conversation now. Tonight is when it's kind of pressure time, I guess you could say, Joe, in terms of the good teams playing the good teams. All the rest of the teams in the district are 0-2. And for Gilmer, they get North Lamar next week for homecoming, and then week 10, which we all circled long ago on the calendar with Pleasant Grove. That's probably for a district championship. But, Joe, that's assuming tonight that these Buckeyes get around the Liberty Eylau Leopards.
Well, absolutely, and of course, you know, this stretch that we're going to have, no offense to folks up in Paris, but, you know, North Lamar is not really in this, you know, thing. You know, their program kind of struggles a little bit, but this game here, and then 2 weeks from now, back in Texarkana again, when the Buckeyes come up to play, you know, Pleasant Grove, obviously that's going to determine playoff order more than anything. I mean, basically, you know, in this district, you know, 2 wins will probably get you in with 4 teams. So, while I guess I haven't done the math, but it's probably mathematically possible for either of these teams to be eliminated. I guess the likelihood of that, you know, is not very high. So, you're right. But these 2 trips to Texarkana here in these, you know, this week and 2 weeks from now is going to really be the thing that determines where, you know, where the Buckeyes are going to play first round and things like that. So they're very important. You know, it's not just a district championship, which the Buckeyes, you know, they always set their goals, and obviously the program's got to the point where making it to a state championship and winning a state championship is a goal they set every year. But it always has to start with something, and so to get those attainable goals that we've all learned about, those SMART goals, you know, have to be attainable, and one of those is a district championship. And so they place a lot of pride in those district championships, and that's evident, as you can see, that since 2000, you know how many district ball games the Buckeyes have lost since the year 2000?
Not many.
8. They've lost 8 ball games, you know, in these 22 seasons, I guess. So that shows you the emphasis that the coaching staff places on district contests. And so all of these district games, even next week against, you know, North Lamar, they're important to this team. And so all these games mean a lot to them. And you were mentioning how Liberty Eylau in particular has always been a good, you know, competitive series for the Buckeyes. They first played in 1968. The game was in Gilmer. Liberty Eylau beat Gilmer 21-14. And since that time, the Buckeyes hold a 14-12 series lead. So in 26 ball games, 14 have gone to the Buckeyes and 12 have gone, you know, to Liberty Eylau. Now, since 2000, it's definitely been lopsided towards the Buckeyes. But you can see over the years, that's been a very competitive, you know, series, and we expect the same tonight. This is a good ball club.
Yeah, they've got athletes. They've always had athletes. Don't forget, you know, we always, forever, we will be talking about Liberty Eylau in terms of that back to the history when we first started coming up here and playing them in the bi-district game, and that loss in 2007. Obviously, it left a mark, and you know, I hate coming up here because 2006, because you got to look across there in their facilities. It says Division I 3A state champions in 2006. Even Coach Jeff Traylor was asked this week on none other than the David Smoke show. Was that 2006 loss maybe one of the most heartbreaking? And Jeff remembered every detail of that loss, including a guy named LaMichael James, who was their running back. Jeff was also very quick to remind Smoke that we ended his career the next year.
That we did, and that's kind of the series it's been. You know, to kind of emphasize your point about the athletes. Did a little research, of course. That's, you know, my thing, and I found out that between the 2 schools, they've sent 16 players onto the NFL.
Unbelievable.
10 for Liberty Eylau, 6 for the Buckeyes, and of course the Buckeyes are. Liberty Eylau has no active players right now, although they have a coach on their sidelines, and Trey Carson, that fairly recently finished his NFL career.
Right.
And then the Buckeyes, of course, have 2 players that were on the 2014 state championship team as teammates that are amazingly enough teammates now with the Minnesota Vikings. But just think about that. 2 small schools in Northeast Texas, and between them have sent 16 players to the NFL.
Well, as again, Coach Traylor would say, well, amazing unless you're talking about Beast, Texas.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call it Beast, Texas.
That's why they call it Beast, Texas. Of course, we could go all the way back to when Coach Traylor was in school against the Dangerfield Tigers, who you know, have 350 kids in their high school, and literally their entire starting defense went to the NFL and finished the season at minus 13 yards and 0 points scored. So at the end of the day, there is a lot of talent in this neck of the woods and a lot of talent here. Of course, we're going to talk about it throughout the game too. We are in the Texarkana school district. So, Joe, what that means is maybe we can explain that because we've been asked that so many times around town. Is at the end of the day, what are the rules? So you've got rules in Texarkana like no other place where the talent can move between Texas High, Liberty Eylau, and Pleasant Grove, and all three of those teams are extremely talented.
Yeah, and that happens a lot in bigger towns with more than one high school. You see it in Longview, you see it in Paris even, but absolutely here, because I was just talking about, when we came in here, all you do is take a different exit, go about 5 more minutes, and you're at Pleasant Grove. 10 more minutes, you're at Texas High, Arkansas High even. I mean, if you want to go that route, so you're absolutely right.
You can switch and get bust. It's kind of the Wild West, but Pleasant Grove, as we will see tonight, has their share of athletes for sure. And Joe, more importantly, they play Gilmer well every single year. I mean, we're getting close to the playoffs. This comes at a time where, as Coach Metzel mentioned during the coaches show, it's time to get better. It's time to be at your best going into the playoffs.
Absolutely. You want to see that improvement week to week. It's difficult to do, but that's what makes teams good that can do that. And I think especially, the past 3 weeks, counting the loss at Carthage, to take nothing away from the 3 teams that we've played, but I got a sense, from Coach Metzel this week that, he didn't feel like that we've played very good ball and gotten a lot better than the last 3 weeks. And so I know that they're really looking forward to these 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of the regular season in district, to hopefully reverse that trend and get better each week. And this will be a great way to start, especially after last week. Even though they got a win against probably the best 0-7 team in the state of Texas in Pittsburgh, they did a great job keeping the ball away from Gilmer. So I'm going to give them credit. However, there were things that, Gilmer was not clicking. And Coach Metzel even said that at his luncheon on Wednesday. I was going to actually ask him about it. Before I did, he even just volunteered it himself and just said, we just felt like we were a little bit off, against Pittsburgh. And that coupled with some bad calls, which I'm going to go ahead and just say it and admit it, because I want the Buckeye fans to know what Coach Metzel said this week, is that, I was a little bit upset with the officiating last week. Called back 3 Gilmer touchdowns.
Now we know rightfully so as well.
And so 2 of those for sure were bad calls, because every week Coach Metzel and all coaches around the state have the ability to send in a form with complaints about the officials or something good, either way. And he sent down a form and he sent videos showing those 2 plays. And for the first time ever, he got a call from the UIL head of official saying, yep, you're right, we missed those 2 calls and we apologize. And then a little bit later, he got a call from the head of the Tyler chapter official saying the exact same thing. Coach, we missed those calls, we apologize, So I'm glad to see that they're at least stepping up and saying it. I mean, we know they're all human and everything. It's just tough. I get out there and I'm thinking about these 16, 17-year-old kids that are playing, especially when you have, it's not just Rowan, who had a marvelous 90-yard kick return, but all the guys that were blocking for him, and especially one in particular, Arono, number 3, who got the call for holding, and when in reality he was one that was picked up and slammed to the ground. And so all those kids, all their effort was totally wiped away, and that's what gets me upset. I'll try to do better, but I was kind of glad to know they at least admitted that they did make some major mistakes.
It's certainly novice. It's certainly a good gesture.
Yes.
Well, though, as we get ready to kick it off tonight, Buckeyes in all white tonight, as you'll see. The Buckeyes win the toss, defer to the second half, so we will see the black flag defending. Essentially, I guess that is to be the south end zone to our right, and the north to our left. And we will see the Liberty Eylau offense. They run a single back, multiple set offenses. We'll see. Look very familiar to Buckeye fans, but very familiar athletes as well. Joe. Here we go again.
You already did better than last week. It's only one so far.
15 times last week just in the pregame show. But you will see the caliber of athletes. We've always seen that here going way, way back. Is that Liberty Eylau has got lots of great athletes and lots of speed, and we will see it on display from the opening kickoff tonight. Now, I did want to mention, some Buckeye fans have asked me the last week during the home game, did we get new jerseys? No, we didn't get new jerseys. We were forced by the UIL to basically put white numbers because we had been told that orange is a dark color. Well, as I look out tonight and you look out tonight onto the Liberty Eylau jerseys, I believe that black against burgundy is definitely a dark color.
I just said I'm going to try to do better, Todd, and you're baiting me.
I'm baiting you to pick a fight.
My goodness.
Well, here's Hernandez to kick off for the Buckeyes, kicking up to the north, and he's going to pooch kick this over, and it's going to be taken about the 15-yard line, fumbled. It's put on the ground, and the Buckeyes make a great tackle there right at the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Okay, that's a perfect example of why the Buckeyes do those pooch kicks, because I still know a lot of people in the stands always ask, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Because they know that our kicker can kick it in the end zone. That's why they do it right there, because it has to make a running, catch, and sometimes they miss it. And we were right there to tackle him, and who knows? Next time they do it, he might fumble it, and we might get it. That's why they do that.
Exactly. That is exactly right, Joe. And I actually explained, I was asking church, what's a pooch kick? That's a pooch kick. And just like Joe explained, accurately so, it's strategic, and that's exactly why you do it. Liberty Eylau sets up 1st and 10 from the left hash from their own 24-yard line. They have a motion man coming across the face of the quarterback. They're going to fake a jet sweep and try to throw. They're going to go down the field to a wide open receiver at the 50-yard line who got behind the safeties. And that is complete for a long play, 1st down into Buckeye territory. Liberty Eylau is going to play fast now as the Buckeyes give up a long pass play and just let somebody get behind them there.
I mean, the Buckeyes definitely don't want to see that happen, but I know they are glad that this is going to be a lot faster than last week against Pittsburgh. But that's exactly the thing that Coach Metzel was worried about. He felt like we were going to do pretty good against the pass, but he knew that they had the opportunity to do something just like that. And now they followed up with a big 1st down run of over 15 yards.
Yeah, so there's the run up the middle, and that is the speed that you're going to see as the black flag's been stung for 2 plays coming straight out of the gate here. Not what Coach Metzel had in mind when he deferred. But that is 2 safeties making the first 2 tackles, not where the Buckeye defense wants to be. 1st and 10 now from the Buckeye 34-yard line. Quarterback once again in the shotgun, offset back to the right. He's going to take this, roll out to his right-hand side. He's looking to throw down the field. He is going to throw and complete that about the 22-yard line, right in front of number 22, Watson, the cornerback, and that's going to move the chains once again as Liberty Eylau kind of making it look easy right now against the Buckeye defense.
Well, I say that's what the Buckeyes would rather have this than Pittsburgh, but now I'm beginning to second-guess myself.
But the Buckeyes got to wake up here. 1st down and 10, knocking on the door of the red zone at their 22 after only 3 plays. They've managed to literally flip the field from 122 now down to the Buckeye 22. Empty set in the backfield, trips to the right. Quarterback takes the snap. He's looking back. He's got all kinds of time. Now he's going to rush and throw. And that's going to be incomplete.
And he had a lot of room. He could have run himself on that one. So
he really could have. And number 44, Matt Burton, had stayed down for quite a while, which had me looking for sure. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Liberty Eylau not scared to throw in order to run, which is what we've seen. We've seen 3 passes on this drive so far, 2 out of 3 complete, and that opened up the long run. So the Buckeyes, what you notice so far, Joe, is no pressure. They have not been able to pressure the quarterback. He's had all day to throw. Trips out the right-hand side. You got a wide sweep now to the left-hand side. It's going to be a sweep, and it's going to be tackled out in the backfield. Great job by number 3, Amaro Arona, who drops that one. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 15 now for Liberty Eylau.
Well, and what you have to realize too is, there's no way to make adjustments really right now during that first series. Now, after this is over, hopefully they can keep them from scoring, but then they'll get together with their coaches and they'll say, okay, what are they doing? Let's do this differently, and they may stunt differently or they whatever. But that first drive, it's just kind of hanging on sometimes, just hoping that a good team doesn't score.
That's exactly what's happening right now. But the Buckeyes at 3rd and 16 after that 6-yard drop or tackle for a loss from Amaro. Backs up Liberty Eylau. They need to get all the way down to the Buckeye 12 for a 1st down. Quarterback in the shotgun. He's going to roll out to his right-hand side. Once again, he gets all kinds of space. He throws back to a wide-open receiver at the 15, and it's going to move the chains down inside the 10-yard line. Just sits down in the zone and finds a spot there, and the quarterback rolling to his right, if you want to call it that. Not a really fleet of foot quarterback. He seems like he's almost moving in slow motion, but he throws back across his body, and 1st and goal now for Liberty Eylau.
Well, he's been able to prolong the play, so even when the Buckeyes get a little bit of pressure, he's able to get outside the pocket, and he's been fairly accurate so far.
Pistol formation now, 1st and goal for Liberty Eylau. Luckily at the 10-yard line, they're going to hand it off straight up the middle. and he runs about 8 yards before he is even touched, all the way down to the 2-yard line. And really, the Buckeyes are getting killed in the trenches right now, Joe. In terms of their defensive front, that normally is really the strength of that defense, not only are they really not getting any push up front, they're also really getting blown off the ball. When you see a running back go 8 yards down the field before he gets touched, that's kind of what you know.
Well, he did get touched a little bit before that. We just didn't make the tackle, so that's part of the problem there too. So it's not making the tackle when you get an opportunity. Under
center now, stacked to the right-hand side. Here they come.
Motion,
that looks like a legal motion, but Amara Arona comes back and drops that for about a 2-yard loss.
How do you not call that? There's
no
call.
No, I'm sorry. That's Keith Rockwell that comes back from his linebacker standpoint and is going to make this now 3rd and goal from the 5. And I saw movement. I don't think anybody else saw movement, at least the guy in the white hat.
That tight end on the left side was 2 steps in before they snapped the ball. So
yeah, I think maybe it would have been declined anyway, as Keith Rockwell comes and crashes and makes a stop for a loss. They're only going to call that a 2-yard loss. But Liberty Eylau getting what they wanted on this first drive, but the Buckeyes on 3rd down. Now we got a Buckeye that's running on and off the field. That's number 4, Cody Guidry. Motion to the left-hand side. They've got a sweep play. Quarterback tucks it up, and now they're going to call a legal motion.
And there was movement all over, but I just wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, they're going to call a timeout. So we're going to take a timeout and come back with this big 3rd and goal play right after these messages.
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go, or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions, or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
And we're back to the action here as Liberty Eylau on an 8-play drive to start this game, down 3rd and goal now for the Buckeyes. They've moved the chains 4 times so far already. They can't move it anymore, Joe. They're gonna be at 3rd and goal from their own 5-yard line. And it's funny, the ball's spotted at the 4, but the chains say it's at the 5. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
You're still baiting me, Todd.
But a big 3rd down play now coming up, offset back to the right, strong side of the formation to the right. And they're going to try to get some pressure, but here comes the pressure on the quarterback, and the Buckeyes are going to force an incomplete pass, throws it out of bounds, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and we're going to see if Liberty Eylau has a kicking team or if they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Well, that's an example of the chess match, and this decision is an example of the chess match because we decided to bring pressure on that, thinking that that's what they were going to do, and that's what they did, so we won that part. So now we'll see, what they're going to do here. I don't see a kicker coming out, and I don't see anything else. So it looks like
no, they're going to go for it. 4th down and 5, and this is the play of the game so far. 7:56 left to play as Liberty Eylau, kind of playing keep away from the Buckeyes. They've got a split wide receiver all the way out to the left-hand side, split wide receiver to the right, trying to take it up, and now they're going to run quarterback draw, and the Buckeyes look like they're going to have that stopped at the 4. 1st down, Buckeyes, black flag, bows their neck and makes a goal line stand, Joe. And, man, after you're breathing really hard, you got to have BT come on the field and see if we can't kind of answer that drive. Maybe that woke us up a little bit, but a great goal line stand by the black flag defense.
If you're a defensive purist, you're sitting there griping because, we gave up 75 yards almost, whatever. But in this kind of football these days with these athletes, if you can bend and not break, that's a perfect example. And even on LE's part, the decision to go for it doesn't bother me because now the Buckeyes have the ball like the 3-yard line. So, I'm glad, the Buckeyes are glad they stopped it, but it's not a perfect scenario for the Buckeyes either.
BT in the backfield, Ashton Haynes to his right, wide side of the field to his right, 2 receivers with an offset back. You got Rockwell to his left in single coverage, only 1 safety deep as BT's going to throw this one up top, and he's got a man open. Parker Gillow makes the catch all the way out to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Buckeyes just like that. Thank you, Brandon Tennyson. Here come the Buckeyes just straight to the line of scrimmage.
What a beautiful catch by Gillow, who had a drop or 2 last week, and I'm sure that was a great move to come back to the ball and make a great catch because he was well defended.
He was, kind of a back shoulder throw. Offset back to the left now with Twins left and right. Motion is Roe Fluellen going to come back, fake the throw to Roe, screen it back the other way, missed the pass. Ashton Haynes was open, actually hit him in the hands, but he a little bit high, couldn't come down with a catch, brings up 2nd and 10.
Which is hard because he had about 4 linemen in front of him. I didn't see a red jersey anywhere around there, but on the other side, so that probably would have turned into a very positive play for the Buckeyes if it had been caught.
No, they had it set up perfect. 2nd down and 10 now. Same formation, just Ashton set up on the left-hand side. Look like they're playing too deep now. They're going to fake it and throw it right to Rockwell, who's going to move the chains out close to midfield at the 48. That's the same play that Liberty Eylau ran, ironically, coming down on the drive. Just sits down in the zone, finds an open spot, BT hits him, first down.
I'm about to say, that's what you can call a move the chain play. That's exactly what they wanted to do, and got in that soft spot, did it, and boom, first down for the Buckeyes.
Twins out to the right-hand side. Wide side is to the right again. Now 2 backs in the backfield. Very much looks like a running formation for the Buckeyes. BT looking to the sideline to see what the play might be. 2 deep safety once again. Of course, Liberty Eylau in a 5-2 look. Linebacker set very deep. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Ashton Haynes, and he's got room. He's got the corner. Great blocking. He's all the way out. 15, 17-yard gain. He went 10 yards, Joe, before anybody touched him.
You said it. Fantastic blocking. It was a good call. He had a great wall. I'm not near as fast as I used to be, but I think I could have picked up 5 or 6 yards with that blocking.
I would just be now getting to the line of scrimmage myself. But thank you, number 29, Mr. Ashton Haynes. Now wide side to the left, trips to the left-hand side, split right. Ashton Haynes offset to the right. Now he steps up into the slot. We got empty backfield. Here's the snap. BT drops back. He's got all day long to throw, scrambles around to his right, and throws a little bit high for Rockwell. Had him open, and normally BT is very, very accurate moving. Just threw it a little bit high.
Good coverage by Liberty Eylau there. He had really good blocking, and somehow I think they kind of forgot, let one guy slip through and made him move a little bit. They picked him up on the block, but like you said, just not as accurate as he normally is on the run.
Twins out to the left-hand side now, 2nd and 10 from Liberty Eylau 38. BT takes the snap, hands it to Ashton. He makes one cut, gets up the field, makes the first man miss, and fumble the football. And Liberty Eylau has recovered the ball. So the Buckeye offense now comes out. And
well, after 3 turnovers last week, 2 fumbles and an interception, one of the emphasis this week was to try to limit the turnovers, obviously. And you hate to see that on the first possession. We couldn't really tell from here if somebody put a hat on the ball or what. But, you just hate to see that. I mean, once again, just another turnover and just ends a great drive for the Buckeyes.
Well, they gotten 3 first downs, and we're moving towards the 4th and moving towards the red zone. And the defense, with a quick change, got to come back on the field. Liberty Eylau dodging that bullet after the Buckeyes dodged one in the opening drive. Let's see if the black flag can pick up right where they left off. 6:15 left to play in this first quarter. 0-0 is your score. Pistol formation. Quarterback brings a man in motion. The Buckeye defense shifts. As we got trips out to the right-hand side, they're going to throw again. But unlike the last time, there is some pressure, and he throws that incomplete at the feet of his offside hot route.
They were fortunate he didn't catch that. It would have been about a 7-yard loss.
Yeah, that was a good move to throw it at his feet and take the incomplete pass.
And Todd, real quick, I just want to mention, for those watching at home, we're shooting through very dark glass that can't be open, and if you see some movement on your screen that looks like a ghost, it's not a ghost, it's just a reflection of us. So I just want to explain that to people in case they start texting and saying what's going on there.
Yes, as Eric waves into our reflection. We'll try to back up a little bit. Nothing we can do about it, folks. We're dealing with it as best we can. Here's motion across the right-hand side. Looked like a man left early. They're going to try to throw it deep, and he gets behind the receiver, but it is well overthrown. As he's behind the defender once again with that speed.
Well, okay, so he got behind the defender, and that's not that unusual. But our defender closed the gap really quick. He was right there, so that would have taken an exactly perfect pass just to drop in, or else there's no way to catch it. And that's hard to do at any level, especially at high school. And as you can see, he overthrew him by quite a bit. So it's not so much, like you said, about getting behind him, because our guy made up the difference. He's right there. And if he hadn't have thrown a perfect pass, there's not going to be a reception, and that's what happened.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 10 now. That's Bowman on single coverage as he's giving him cushion, but that just shows you the speed Liberty Eylau has. Now a definite passing down, 3 safeties back deep at the sticks for the Buckeyes. They're going to run a wheel route out here to the right-hand side. Quarterback flushed out. He does dump it out, and he almost gets blown up by number 4, Cody Guidry. He was bobbling the ball, and Cody does a great job showing discipline because I tell you what, Joe, I would not have been able to pass up that hit.
Well, I was about to say, that's also one of those ones that if Guidry, hadn't really been focused on tackling the player, which is what you're supposed to do.
He would have picked it.
Yeah, it very possibly could have been a pick, and that's hard to do because you're focusing on trying to get the player down, not making any yardage. But man, that ball was bobbling and right there in front of him.
Yeah, and then he's running full blast, trying to consider all those things all at the same time. Number 17, Ro Fluellen, the dangerous return man, back at his own 36-yard line to receive this punt. And the punter's going to do a rugby-style kick, punt it away from Rowe. It's going to hit about the 32, take a right-hand turn, and go out of bounds. And the Buckeyes will take over 1st and 10 on their second possession. 5:51 left to play in the first scoreless quarter so far.
Well, that's a great punt, honestly, by the Liberty Eylau punter because you really don't want to punt it to someone like Rowan Fluellen. And punt away from him, took a bounce straight out of bounds, no chance to return it. Buckeyes are going to start now at their own 33-yard line. I mean,
it's better than your 30.
Obviously, you'd like to get it inside the 20, inside the 10, all that. But for high school, that's a great punt.
Twins out to the right-hand side in a stacked formation. Ashton Haynes set to the right, and Rowe's going to now go into mini motion. They're going to hand it off to number 29. He gets one-man miss, and he's still on his feet. Still running, no whistle.
No whistle.
Ashton Haynes, what a highlight run as he will not go down after that fumble. He moves the chains, first down. That was the second, third, and fourth effort, Joe. What a run there by Haynes.
I was about to say, he's motivated no matter what, but after you put the ball on the ground, he's got a little extra motivation.
Yeah, just give it to him and get out the way. Here's the snap. They're going to do the same thing again that's Jackson, number 21. And he's the speedster. And he loses 2 on that carry, bring up second down, and let's call it 13 from the Buckeye 40.
He got swallowed up on that. A lot of penetration by the defensive line, which they've got a large defensive line, very athletic and very quick. So it's not easy for the Buckeyes offensive line to keep them out of things like that.
Trips out to the right-hand side now. Single receiver to the left is Rockwell. He has probably an athletic advantage now. They are heads up, and he is a Sam Houston commit, as Coach Metzel mentioned. Lines back up on the numbers now, and I'm sure they're going to target him right here. Here comes the blitz. BT gets smoked with the offside cornerback blitz as he didn't see him and doesn't read the hot route, and that's going to be a loss of 10, bring up 3rd and 20 for the Buckeyes.
And people at home might be looking and saying, well, why didn't somebody block him? Okay, well, there was nobody to block him in that scheme. That's right. It is what you said, up to the quarterback at that point to recognize the blitz and then change accordingly, and he didn't do it. He was turned, couldn't really see what was happening.
Trips out to the right-hand side, single receiver out to the left. They're going to try to fake it and fake a screen inside to Ro Fluellen, and look out, Ro jumps into a pile there. He probably gets 5 yards back, but Liberty Eylau makes the stop, and here comes the punt team. So this first quarter, Joe, with 4 minutes and 10 seconds and counting, has just kind of been a stalemate, other than the opening drive by Liberty Eylau, who comes out and storms down the field only to be stymied by the black flag defense on a goal line stand. It's just now been kind of an exchange of a few punts, and Liberty Eylau returns the favor of 3 and outing the Buckeyes.
Well, several years ago, the Buckeyes and Leopards went through a series of about 3 or 4 ball games where the combined score was well over 100 every game. I don't think we're going to have that issue tonight, but we'll see.
Now, Cody Guidry punts that literally to the cheerleading squad on the right-hand side. That's going to give Liberty Eylau excellent starting field position. He brings it all the way to the 50-yard line where it went out of bounds. So that was an 8-yard punt there by Cody Guidry. Not something normal. But, Joe, the Buckeyes got to sharpen things up here with 3:42 left to play in the first quarter. They have now given up half the field in special teams to the Liberty Eylau Leopards.
And once again, it's unforced errors.
Yeah, it's
not really anything else.
Yeah, it's just the Buckeyes kind of having a long road trip and waking up and trying to play their best football.
We haven't even said that. We haven't mentioned that, I don't think, have we?
I don't think I want to blame the Jamboree, but sure won't be fun for next year's seniors if this continues. Trips out to the right-hand side. They're going to hand it off straight up field, and nobody there to even touch the running back. The defensive back comes over, and that's Bowman, and makes the tackle, but not until he goes 15 yards down the field. Joe, that's the 3rd time they've run that same play.
Well, when it works, why not run it all the time? And, the first 2 guys didn't tackle him, tried to arm tackle him. And like you said, even when that was probably 10 yards down the field before those 2 guys got to him. So
yeah, they just completely collapsed the left-hand side of the Buckeye defense. And somebody got to Amaro, who was the outside linebacker. He's kind of in coverage on the slot man, too. but he's not even in the play on that picture. 1st and 10, Liberty Eylau drive it again from the Buckeye 35. Here's motion back to the left-hand side. They're going to run the exact same play. This time Amaro gets there, stops it for maybe what's a 2-yard gain, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 for Liberty Eylau from the Buckeye 34.
Well, like we said, that first drive for Liberty Eylau was an example of, bend but not break. And when you start at the 50, that's a hard way for your defense to get started. And once again, it's going to be up to the Buckeyes defense to try to correct something that the offense put them in.
Once again, Liberty Eylau trying to take advantage of this opportunity, catching the Buckeyes. Here's a sweep to the right-hand side. It's a drag route to the tight end across the middle. That's Rockwell that makes the tackle for only a 3-yard gain out to the 30. That's going to be 3rd down and 5, Joe.
You know what I like about that? That's a nice, sure tackle. Was it pretty? Was it awe-inspiring? We're like, ooh, no. But if you'd done that, you probably would have missed. Instead, he wrapped him up, made sure that he doesn't let him go anywhere, waits for his other guys to come help him finish it off.
That's Keith Rockwell on the tackle. Good job at the linebacker position. 3rd and 5. Got to think it's 4th down territory. Here's pistol formation. They try to go with a hard count and draw the Buckeyes off. Nobody biting on that bait there as they look to the sideline.
Which is big because last week it didn't happen. Pittsburgh got us off 2 or 3 times, so they saw that. So that's a good sign at least for this week.
And it's going to be a quarterback out to the left-hand side. Look out, he's got pressure, and down he goes, fumble. And they're going to call him down. I don't think that was, but the quarterback, nonetheless, with an 8-yard loss, and now I think they will send the punt team out to try to pin the Buckeyes deep. That's going to be 4th down and 13. You got to think if you're Liberty Eylau and Coach Davis, Joe, that if you can't score on 4th down and goal from the 3, you got no chance at 4th and 13 from the 42.
Well, and once again, just another example of the Buckeyes defense. Doing a really, really nice job of stopping this drive. They picked up 13 yards and they start at the 50-yard line. You really can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, it's a fake punt, and there's stopped dead at the 29, and the Buckeye defense is finally going to stop them. I think that's number 20, Hernandez, in on the tackle.
Okay, the clock's still running, even though the referee signaled it dead about 3 seconds ago. But
56.1 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and they've held the Buckeyes scoreless. And unfortunately, the Buckeyes have held the Leopards scoreless. 2 yards short of the first down. They needed the 25 to pick that up. Fakes the punt, and the Buckeye special teams recovered just in time to stop them. Here's BT and the Buckeyes for the 3rd time tonight. Twins to the left, single receiver out to the right. Rowe Llewellyn in motion. They're going to hand it to number 29, Haynes. He's got all kinds of room. He breaks out all the way to the 40. He's going to move the chains, and he was 1 man away, Joe, from being off at the races.
You're right about that. His speed and everything, almost an ankle tackle, and that was almost a touchdown.
1st and 10, Buckeyes move the chains on 1st down once again. BT takes the snap, hands it to Ashton once again. He runs around the right-hand side. He takes a big hit, keeps his legs turning, out close to midfield and close to another 1st down.
Good blocking by the Buckeyes line. You can see both times the play basically worked perfectly as it's drawn up, but it was well blocked.
Yeah, and Ashton runs hard. It's going to be 2nd down and 1 now. They're going to hand it to Ashton straight up the middle once again. He picks up the 1st down into Leopard territory down at the 46-yard line. Buckeyes playing fast, and they are getting guys hat on a hat up front and getting space for Ashton to run.
When they play fast, it makes us talk fast, and I didn't bring any water up here for myself. So, maybe by the end of halftime, I'm not sure where I'll be.
Twins right, Ashton, BT's keeping that one around the right-hand side. A fantastic read by Brandon Tennyson all the way down to the 34. Last play of the first quarter, but they're going to pick up a 1st down as the Buckeyes are threatening, and we'll be right back with the 2nd quarter play right after these messages.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
Rowdy Creek Ranch, located on Highway 300 between Gilmer and Longview, is your destination for a world-class escape. With everything from dinner and wine tastings to weekend retreats in our unique and luxurious glamping park, Rowdy Creek is a little piece of heaven right in our own backyard. Corporate events, reunion gatherings, weekend getaways, and even dinner with live music are all on offer at Rowdy Creek Ranch.
Back to the action here as the Gilmer Buckeyes are behind a great read by quarterback Brandon Tennyson, picks up 13. 1st and 10 Buckeyes from the Leopards 34, and Joe, they're threatening again.
Well, you know, we've got a great stable of running backs, but it sure is nice to know that your quarterback can do that just about any time he wants to.
29 Ashton Haynes in the backfield. It is a stacked backfield to the right, to the short side of the field. Parker Gillow, the split wide receiver. Twins out to the left-hand side as Rockwell and looks like number 4, Cody Guidry. BT in the shotgun on the right hash. He's going to take the snap, hand it off to Ashton Haynes. No, he's going to keep it again. Great move there by Brandon Tennyson. Picks up 3 yards. Is he just reading that defensive end, Joe? And that's just zone read option, just football that you see all on the quarterback.
You say it is just, but you know how difficult it is to put it in someone's belly and the back. They have to have so much experience, so much practice doing that, or else you fumble the ball every time.
Well, he's pretty good at it. Brings up 2nd down and 8 now. Pistol formation on the left-hand side is Cody Guidry. That's Roe Fluellen. They're going to hand it to him, and Roe breaks it out, does what he does, gets inside the 20-yard line, not only a first down, but in the red zone. Roe Fluellen, the tailback, that's a wrinkle we haven't seen yet all year.
I'm about to say it's the first time we've seen that. We've seen him run some of those jet sweeps a little bit, and he's been fairly successful. It's only averaged 5 yards a carry, to be honest with you. They don't run it a lot. A lot of times put him in motion to detract, but that was a great run there.
Twins out to the right-hand side. This is going to be a quarterback power keeper. Brandon cutting it upfield. Once again, he's just so slippery. Picks up about 9 yards, and it's going to be a 2nd down and about 1 as the Liberty Eylau Leopard with Keith Rockwell just blocking well after the play. No flag, no nothing, so the referee's just letting that go.
I finally figure out what it reminds me of when Brandon Tennyson runs. It looks like he has a force field around him. The other guys just kind of run and hit and somehow bounce off before they ever get to him.
Roe looks like he's coming down a river when he's running, and BT's got his magic force field. I think it's because so many guys have been faked out of their pants so close to BT that he just repels guys while they're trying to catch him. 2nd down and 4.
It's strange to watch,
honestly.
It is
very strange, but it's beautiful. I'm glad he is on our team. Coach Traylor, you'll be glad he's going to be on your team too, but we're sure going to miss him. We're glad we've got the next Tennyson coming up.
1, 2, 3, 4,
2nd and 4.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Offset back is to the right. BT in the shotgun is going to hand this. Bad snap, but he picks it up. Ashton Haynes keeping his leg drive going for the 1st down. He is just a bull.
I mean, Haynes that time looked like he was slogging through like a muddy forest or something like that, picking up his legs, trying to drag him down.
Looks like Earl
one
Campbell,
tackle or another, right?
Earl Campbell with his forward body lean, he is so strong. I'm so glad we got another year on his contract. 1st and goal, Buckeyes now from the Liberty Eylau 8. 10 minutes left in this first half. Buckeyes looking for their first score of the night. Twins out to the right-hand side, Ashton Haynes on the right. They're going to hand it to Ashton straight up the middle. He cuts around to the right-hand side, keeps his feet, and he is going to score. Touchdown, Buckeyes. That is all number 29 right there.
Well, great blocking. Good decision by the quarterback, but you're right in the sense that once he gets the ball, and what that little delay does for a running back like him who has great vision, allows him to see and pick out where he wants to go, and then he has the quickness and speed that he hits it, and he's got the strength that he can break tackles, stay at balance. I mean, it almost came down, and then that speed again to go outside. You saw every element of a great running back in that one play.
All he didn't do was block. That's the only thing that didn't happen for Ashton Haynes on that touchdown run. 8-yard run, but that is highlight film material. Hernandez on for the extra point. BT on to hold. Hold is good. Kick is up, and it is good. And the Buckeyes finally drawing blood 7-0 with 9:44 left to play in this first half. We'll be right back after these messages.
For all of your oil change and automotive service and maintenance needs, drop by Pit Stop Oil and Lube in Gilmer and take care of it with the fast, friendly, and full quality service. Pit Stop Oil and Lube is your hometown car care professional and can take care of anything your car needs to keep your vehicle running great and to keep you safe and satisfied. Conveniently located on Highway 271 North in Gilmer, if you need an oil change or inspection, make a pit stop at Pit Stop Oil and Lube.
I'd
75-yard drive, all of it coming on the ground there from the Buckeyes to bring the score to 7-0. Finally, Joe, the Buckeyes break through the unforced errors tennis match that we've been watching between Liberty Eylau and Gilmer.
Well, and I think you probably see a little bit of the changing of, what the coaches are seeing upstairs and what they're relaying back down the team. And not saying that we're never going to pass the ball again, obviously, but, we are a run-first team, no matter what people say. And that was a great example of just taking the ball and just power running it down, down the field.
Hernandez, onside kick, and the Buckeyes have got a shot at it. And let's see if they got it. And they are saying that they do have it. Oh, and the referee on the side is saying that Liberty Eylau recovered it.
It looks like they probably did. I couldn't really tell very well. I will say, I thought that was a great opportunity for the onside kick because just like BYU did last week against Baylor, which made me sick, they just turned around and started running, and Baylor executed a little more successfully because Baylor kicked it a little bit slower.
That's right.
And allowed them just to follow it. That was a little bit too hard, a little bit too much adrenaline.
Exactly.
So it went a little bit too far. If it hadn't gone that far,
We'd have
Buckeyes would have got
They're
it.
saying
No
that
problem.
the Buckeyes do have the ball. It's the offense that's on the field.
All right,
the side judge absolutely said
right.
it was going the other way, but evidently the Buckeyes won out on that one. Here's Ro Fluellen. He's going to take that hand. No, Brandon Tennyson keeps it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. If he would have broken that shoestring tackle, he'd still be running. They faked that to Rowe. That's the right read, but just a great play there by the linebacker.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, for those of you that don't know where we're at, it's hard for us to see up here onto the field. So a lot of times we're looking at this little monitor and couldn't really tell who had the ball, but the official down here was definitely pointing the other direction.
He very much was. Here's the snap. LaDaylon Jackson in the secondary. He is the running back. He keeps his feet, keeps his balance, still on his feet, still on his balance. He is all the way down to the 30-yard line. LaDaylon Jackson doing a nice impression of number 29, Ashton Haynes, on that touchdown. Will not go down. That is pick your poison. That's thunder and lightning.
Well, I was going to say, you know what? He's also the third best runner on the team.
I'll take it every time. It is a good problem to have when you've got LaDaylon Jackson who can make that kind of run. Move the chains down to the 30-yard line as the Buckeyes content to keep it on the ground right now. A 75-yard drive all on the ground on the last scoring drive. They're doing it again, this time from the 30-yard line. Fakes the pass, throws this one out to the flat. It's Ro Fluellen who's going to catch that, but behind the line of scrimmage. Just great coverage as that was the correct place to throw the football, but it was just covered.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I'm not sure what all the options are on that one, but we probably should have done something different because there was no blocker out there. So even a player of Rowe's caliber, when you've got two guys waiting for him after he catches the ball, it's very hard with those type of athletes on the other side to make that play work, even with someone as athletic as Rowan Fluellen.
Yeah, he did his best. Second down and about 13 now at the 33. It's called 33 and a half. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it back. And no. Tennyson going to keep that. Gives a man a fake. Still on his feet. Maybe he makes a 5-yard gain. But that's going to bring up third down and about 10 back to the original line of scrimmage, Joe. That is an impressive run. But again, just a whole lot of, let's call it burgundy maroon jerseys that are flying around towards number 11.
I mean, defense did a good job, but I tell you, even on a 3 or 4 yard run like that, it's so nice. It's so pretty just to watch someone like Brandon Tennyson do that. I mean, it's uncanny how many people miss him. It's like in a phone booth, the old saying about, you couldn't catch him in a phone booth.
Good luck. Twins out to the right-hand side. Once again, this is going to be an inside screen. That's Rockwell. He's going to have it at the 25-yard line. And, Joe, I think this is predetermined. We're going to go for it on fourth down.
Well, they're in that area where, this is a fairly long field goal. And so you're not going to get it much out of a punt. So it's almost not even a question of what you do.
It's called no man's land. So you go for it on fourth down, but it affects that play call on the screen. Picks up 5 yards, brings up 4th and 5. As BT's going to take the snap, roll out now to the right-hand side. He's got all kinds of room, and he's going to tuck it and run. He gets the first down and more. He's down inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal on Brandon Tennyson's feet. Nice play call to the wide side of the field, and Brandon makes the right decision once again.
And that's such a heartbreaker for the defense because they did their job. They had everybody covered. He didn't have anybody to throw to. And then
he runs for 12 yards.
But the Buckeyes blocked for him well on that. But, there you go.
Jackson straight up the middle. He keeps his legs churning. He's still churning down to about the 2-yard line. Gets a push now as they let him play all the way down and keep it at the 2, let's say, 2nd and goal. Is just impressive by both running backs, Jackson and Ashton Haynes. This is going to be Jackson's turn, or is that Haynes? I'm not sure.
I think it is.
We're behind the dark glass back here. Sorry, folks. Once again, low snap, but Oh my goodness, straight into the line of scrimmage.
21, yeah.
We've got a flag down over here on the right-hand side, and I'm not sure. Yeah, where is Jackson? Did he get up from that hit? Because it looked like he ran into a brick wall.
It was a great job running and a great job tackling, but he basically got down near the goal line, depending on where they're going to spot him because of his knee or whatever. We still don't know what the call is here. They're discussing it, as you can see.
It doesn't look like anybody's backing up. Let's put it that way. So for the Buckeyes, they think they're getting in the power formation.
Okay, so they're going over to talk to the Gilmer staff. So normally that means just a defensive penalty.
That's a defensive penalty. I think it's probably offsides. Yeah,
or a player running out late, as Coach Rob says.
That could very well be the case. But it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1, and Coach Metzel saying, just get out of the way and let us run the play.
I don't remember if they've even got microphones here for the officials. Looks like they do. We probably can't hear it up here, but from the camera, but we might be able to hear what it says. He's about ready to say something. No, apparently it's not working, or we can't hear it. One of the two. Okay, he did illegal substitution. I remember some of my calls. So legal substitution on that one. I don't know what we decided though.
It's still 2nd down.
Okay.
So we took the penalty, which was half the distance to the goal. Clock is running. We take the snap and fumble the snap. And Brandon, once again, has got to fall on the 5-yard line. And those low snaps, Joe, is just death when you're down in the red zone.
I want to say we have a 4-year starter at center who has done a great job in his career. We've not had many 4-year starters at Gilmer in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But last year, early in the season, had a problem with low snaps, and he got much better the rest of the season. Started out this season great, but then last week, you said low snap about 20 or 30 times, and in this game we said 2 or 3. It's not as bad, and I'm hoping he'll keep it up, but you see what problem it is on those low snaps. Not just when it's on the ground like that, but it throws off all the timing for everything.
It blew up the play. Here's 3rd down. We throw it up to to Rockwell.
He was hurried on it. Once again, a little bit of a low snap, so he had to go down. Then we had the backside end or linebacker coming hot. Almost got to him. I'm sure BT saw him a little bit, on the side of through the side of his eye. I think he rushed it just a tad, and you see it was just a little bit too high for Rockwell.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We're 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, and a bad snap causes us now to be able to have a field goal attempt. This is going to be a 22-yard attempt well into the range of Hernandez, but you leave 4 points on the board. Kick is up, and it is good, and the Buckeyes take a 10-0 lead with 5:28 left to play in this first half. But, Joe, that's probably a missed opportunity there for the Buckeyes. Let's hope it doesn't come back to haunt them. We'll be right back to Liberty Eylau right after these messages.
You've heard the saying, location, location, location. Well, at First National Bank of East Texas, we've got branches, branches, branches to proudly serve our family of customers across East Texas and beyond, providing the convenient banking and financial services you need to grow your business or to help you manage your money and fulfill your personal financial goals. First National Bank of East Texas, because together we're better.
Back to Liberty Eylau, where the Gilmer Buckeyes behind a 22-yard field goal from the kicker Hernandez, also linebacker, for the Buckeyes, gives the Gilmer a 10-0 lead going into the last 5 minutes and 28 seconds to play here. And Joe, as you said, this score probably should be 21-0 right now. So far, the Buckeye defense, after they've kind of woken up, have done a really good job other than that first drive. But just not exactly sharp when it comes to execution, especially with things like 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line, and we execute a bad snap, lose 5 yards, and then wind up kicking a field goal.
Well, other than a completely different offense from last week to this week, what is similar is the fact that the Buckeyes are having a lot of unforced errors that's leaving a lot of points out there on the field, which is what Coach Metzel said this week that he didn't want to see, and we're doing it right again, this week.
Pooch kick's going to be taken about the 15-yard line, bobbled once again. He's going to return this out, well defended there by the Buckeye defensively, down about the 32-yard line, and that's number. Who is that? Number 18?
On the tackle?
No, that turned it in on the outside. I apologize for the Buckeye fans. We are behind a very dark glass here.
Michael Colbert.
Yeah,
or as the Spring Hill fan said, the French-Canadian Michael Colbert.
Michael Colbert. Well, you may like that better. Michael may just think that's a little cool to have a French last name.
Sounds sexier, I guess, but.
Pistol formation. It is the opportunity here for Liberty Eylau to try to crawl back into this game. 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Motion across the left-hand side. It's going to be a handoff to the offset back, and the Buckeyes are there. But number 44, Burton, doesn't drop him in the backfield, and that's going to be a gain of 1 yard instead of a loss of about 3. As Matt just didn't see him as he kind of cut back. He certainly had good penetration, which you hadn't seen, Joe, so far from the Buckeye defensive front.
Well, it's only a yard, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but he didn't get back to that part. Let's put it like that. But,
well, he got a generous spot. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Out to, let's call it the 34-yard line. Liberty Eylau taking their sweet time, milking the play clock. They do not want to give the ball back to the Buckeyes, but 2nd down and long, they had better gain some positive yards here. They're going to find themselves in passing situation again. Here's motion across the quarterback's face. He takes the snap. He's going to throw it deep. The safety falls down, but fortunately, that is overthrown again. Good coverage there by the Buckeye defense. That's number 24 on the coverage for the Buckeyes. And I am going to get you a number.
Well, except for the first pass, which was a long completion, the Liberty Eylau is doing what Coach Metzel told us this week that he felt like they'd do. He said he didn't feel like they were really that accurate at the long ball. You know, if they got really wide open, they could hit them like they did in that first play. But overall, they're not that accurate. You know, now they're going to keep trying to do it, so we got to keep covering them. But, you know, that's not one of their strong points.
Well, incomplete pass stops the clock. Fortunate for the Buckeyes and brings up 3rd down and long. Going to roll out to the right-hand side now, and there's pressure on the quarterback. He throws it out and incomplete. And just like that, the Buckeye defense finding their stride, 3-outing Liberty Eylau, and more importantly, Joe, 4:23 on the clock. Incomplete passes mean stop clock.
And that's a perfect example, even though it's only 10 points. You know, like I said, I thought it should be 21, but even at 10 points, you can see already that Liberty Eylau is worried about the points. And so they kind of go against what they normally do on offense and the runs and this, that, and other, and they're panicking just a little bit, you know. And so that's what happens sometimes when you panic. You go 3 and out, you stop the clock when you don't mean to. They only took like 40 seconds off the clock, and now Buckeyes should have good field position and good time.
Yeah, just don't punt it to Rowan Fluellen, and that's
Great
exactly
punt. Wow.
what they do. Is Rowan's got a chance to return it, and he does. And now look out, he may out punted the coverage. Rowe bringing it up the right-hand sideline, and he gets it all the way back out to the 48. That's about a 22-yard return for Rowe. As that long bounce, Joe, kind of played in Rowe's favor. And you're checking on the sideline to see that Rowe gets up safely over there.
Well, not only Rowe, but the other Buckeye that he plowed down like a bowling pin over there. So I think everybody's okay. But, you know, that was honestly a fantastic punt that sent him sprinting backwards towards his own goal line. But like I said, he's very dangerous, and he was able to make up most of it. But even with that, that was a good punt because I figured the Buckeyes probably be at midfield, and they're at, what, the 35?
35. Plenty of time, 4:08 for this Buckeye offense, who has really found a rhythm on the ground for the last 2 drives. Just that low snap that kept them from scoring a touchdown on 2nd goal from the 1. Let's see what the referee call is here, as I'm not sure what the call was. It was a referee's flag. They're going to back up the Buckeyes 10 yards. Again, they're going to hold a hold against Gilmer on the return. And once again, they're going to start the same place they started the drive before last at their own 25. Maybe that's a good omen as the Buckeyes scored a touchdown on that drive.
Well, maybe so. You're positive thinking. I just look at another unforced error.
Yeah, there are a lot of those for sure. Coach Metzel not going to be happy at halftime. And really, Joe, that's something that we've seen quite a few times. We'll talk about it here in a second. Pistol formation as BT is got a running back behind him and a back, Rockwell, off to his right. This would normally be a run. Let's see what the call is. He takes the snap, and yes, it's a run to number 29, Ashton Haynes. And look out. He's got room, makes a man miss. That's Jackson. I'm sorry, number 21. Stays on his feet all the way out to the 37-yard line to move the chains for the Buckeyes. He's got Rockwell in front of him, and with that kind of speed and that kind of blocking in front of him, yeah, he kind of gets out there in a hurry.
For players, guys our age that played back in the 80s and everything, that's our version of the power eye right there.
That's it. That's the Buckeye version of power running football. Trips out to the left-hand side now. Jackson's still in the game, offset to BT's right. Split receiver to the right. BT drops back. He's got time. He's going to roll to his right. Gets hit and almost intercepted as that backside defensive end has just been given Brandon Fitz tonight. And he had an open receiver, but that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 after the 1st down run. And Joe, you might see that may be the reason that the Buckeyes are addicted to the run.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to try to keep it balanced and everything, but the run's been working. I think you'll probably see him go back to it here for the next few plays.
Yeah, here's Jackson with the run once again. He's got a wide open spot out to the midfield, and my goodness, he hits that hole fast.
And I tell you, if it wasn't for, some pretty good tackling by the Liberty Eylau Leopards safeties in this game, there would be a couple more touchdowns from the Buckeyes, because there's probably been 3 or 4 plays that it would have been a touchdown if it hadn't been for a shoestring tackle.
Yeah, for sure. As he hits that hole so hard. 3 minutes and 15 seconds now. The Buckeyes already 25 yards down the field. 1st and 10, looking at getting into Liberty Eylau territory. Good snap. BT reading that once again. The zone is perfect. He throws that to Roe Fluellen, and Roe makes 2 men miss, gets all the way down to the 35-yard line, 15-yard pickup on first down.
It's actually
number 6. Oh, that was number 6. I'm sorry, that's Will Blakely then. I'm glad we're in week 7, Joe, and I'm starting to get the numbers memorized.
Well,
because we can't see anything up here.
It's actually well defended, but once again, a great read by Brandon Tennyson. He looked, his first read was out wide, saw that, he could get it there, but he probably wasn't going to make him any yardage, and then you go down the field to your second read and pick up a first down real quick. So just a good job by the quarterback, and obviously a good job by the line to keep him alive, to give him the time to make that decision.
Yeah, and Will, big run after the catch, turns it up, takes what the defense gives him, brings up a 1st and 10 for Gilmer. Here's Will in motion. That's going to be Ashton, who's still churning. That's Jackson.
Jackson again, yeah.
My goodness, the running backs are running hard. After putting it on the ground to start in the first quarter, Joe, they have been nothing less than impressive the last 2 drives.
Jackson, from my memory, for the most part, has been more of the wide runner so far this season. But man, he's hitting those holes outside the tackle like he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is great, and he's got it once again out to the right-hand side. He moves the chains once again down to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 Buckeyes marching with 2 minutes left to play here in this first half. The Buckeyes looking to sit on, not to sit on this 10-point lead, but to stretch this out to 17 to 0 over the Liberty Eylau Leopards. And this has been an impressive drive, as we are going to have a timeout by Liberty Eylau to try to catch their breath. We'll take a quick message and be right back after this.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
Back to the action here as the Buckeyes are marching with only a minute and let's call it 50 seconds, Joe, in this first half. That's perfect timing. They still have all 3 of their timeouts. Don't think they'll need any of them. But the Buckeyes starting about halfway through the first quarter after that fumble by Ashton Haynes, very uncharacteristic. Boy, both these running backs, Jackson and Ashton Haynes, have been running tough.
Well, here's what's very important at this point in the ball game is to go ahead and turn this into 7 points and not 3 and certainly not 0, and then keep them from scoring because you're going to get the ball back, or should. You're receiving the kickoff. So you talk about a chance to put back-to-back touchdowns on and really lengthen the lead.
Well, the Buckeyes need to develop a killer instinct here. Trips out to the left-hand side. It's going to be faked, and boy, Brandon makes a fantastic move to avoid an all-out blitz. Picks up about 5 yards on that play, and that's just Brandon being Brandon. It looks like the Buckeyes are going to take another timeout here and stop the clock with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. They had it open, Joe, out there on the left-hand side, but an all-out blitz by Liberty Eylau just forced Brandon to take what they gave him.
I'm a little surprised by the timeout, but maybe they just don't want to leave them on the board, I guess. Or they're seeing something defensively that they haven't, got them ready for in this particular, series, and are calling them over and saying, okay, hey, they're doing this, so we're going to shift a little bit, and we're going to run these plays, and we want you to block it this way or something like that. Because, there's plenty of time left on the board, so I have to believe on a timeout like that, it probably has to do with something they've seen the defense do, and they want to make sure they understand how, the coaches want them to block it.
Yeah. Well, it's a good opportunity for us to recognize the Buckeye Scout Team Players of the Week offensively. It's Mr. Smith, Mr. Gervais Smith, and defensively, Mr. Ward, Mr. Dwayne Ward, doing a good job there, prepping up the Buckeyes. Some younger players getting great opportunities. We want to call them out at every opportunity.
And I want to give a shout out to my brother Paul Dodd, who flew in from Utah today for his 25th class reunion. That'll be tomorrow. He and a bunch of his classmates are out at Josh Garrett's house eating steaks and watching the game and making fun of me. So they should be having a good time tonight.
Well, they are having a great time, and the Buckeyes hoping to have some great times here. 2nd down and 8 as trips out to the left-hand side. Once again, a low snap. The Buckeyes just not able to clean that up. Brandon Tennyson gets loose around the right-hand side. He's at the 15, out of bounds at the 13, and that's all BT's feet right there.
Well, I like to see that. I mean, he's taking a lot of hits. I mean, I'm not worried about him necessarily in this game, but you know, there wasn't anything to gain on that one. So once again, you kind of see the smart play by the quarterback to go ahead. Hey, I've pretty much gotten all I can get without lowering my shoulder and doing something crazy. Let's just get out of bounds and let's go to the next play.
Yeah, it's gotten problematic with the snaps. The Buckeyes are going to have to figure out a way to clean that up. BT bailed us out, but it completely blew up the play. Twins out to the left-hand side now. That's handoff to number 21, Jackson. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes on a 13-yard run.
Even on a play like that, that shows you how important the snap is. Fantastic snap, and allowed him to hit it right there.
The timing absolutely worked. And also great blocking up front by the Buckeyes, as that certainly has not been the problem tonight.
I think you could have scored on that, Todd.
Yeah, well, I don't know. No.
Maybe, you know.
Well, I tell you, it doesn't hurt when you look like you're shot out of a cannon like Jackson is on that touchdown, but stretches this out to 16-0. Maybe the Buckeyes left too much time on that drive. May be the only problem with it.
That was the reason I was saying about the timeout. I was surprised by it, but I think it had to do with something they saw. They wanted to stop the clock, but they wanted to make sure they knew how to block it.
Extra point snap is down, hold is up, kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, the Buckeyes get their wish. 17-0 with 1:21 left to play in the first half. We'll be right back after these messages.
When you're on the go and you've only got a minute, your Sefco store's got everything in it. From gas to groceries, you can find it right here. Aren't you glad there's a Sefco near? Day and night when you need the best, Sefco quality's as good as it gets. You find everything top of the line, and hometown service saving you time. Texans know when you're on the go, make it Sefco.
Back to Liberty Eylau as the Gilmer Buckeyes behind the legs of LaDaylon Jackson. 13-yard touchdown run stretches this lead to 17-0 here in Liberty Eylau. 1:21 left in the first half. And Joe, let's see what the Buckeyes do on special teams here. 1:21 with 2 timeouts left. There's some things to do, but you got to think Coach Metzel is going to get the ball back. He defers once he wins the toss. So you got to think the Buckeyes just want to take at least a 17-0 lead in at halftime.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see an onside kick here, although I wouldn't be upset. But I think you're probably going to see a pooch kick. But we could also try to just go ahead and put it in the end zone, make them start at 25.
Yeah. Let's see what Hernandez does.
So I've got all my bases covered, basically, Todd. So
yeah.
I'm right on this one.
And he's capable of doing all three. Pooch kicks out to the 22-yard line. It's going to be taken returned. And they've got room. And, boy, Hernandez makes the tackle from his kicker position. And what a tackle that was.
Well, let's be honest here. That's not just a kicker. He is a starting defensive linebacker. So,
not your typical kicker.
I feel better when somebody breaks it. I still don't like one guy having to stop him, but at least he got the job done.
Yeah, 6'2", maybe 215 pounds. He's not your typical kicker. But he got a powerful leg, but thank goodness he made a great tackle.
But they're the great position. That 50-yard line start with a little bit over a minute to play, so this is what Liberty Eylau needed.
Yeah, they got to crawl back into the game. It just takes one big play with those athletes. Let's see if they can keep it on the ground and or go to the air here. 1st and 10. They're going to go to the air, drop back. They're going to throw it deep as coverage, and it is incomplete and
receiver had no idea.
Yeah, the receiver never found the ball.
And that's why I was saying, people really, truly don't understand how difficult it is to be a team that can throw the ball well anywhere on the field, but especially deep. And it just takes so much practice, and you have to start at 7th grade, run the same routes, you have to just do everything that Gilmer's been doing for 22 years now, that they're in the 2nd year of their program, And it's just one of those things where if you just don't, if you don't do it all the time, it's so hard to be good at it.
Yeah. And you just don't get all of it coming together. 14-7 halftime score as Rusk leads Carthage, which is being interesting. We'll watch that. Here is a double reverse, and it's going to be a pass as he throws it deep, and it's going to be broken up by the Buckeyes. Nice defense by number 12, Kate Bowman. And now, Jeff, you got to think that Liberty Eylau has pulled something out of the hat there. Incomplete pass for the 2nd straight play. The Buckeyes have 2 timeouts left. Now it's 3rd and 10 with 1 minute and 1 second left. This just got interesting. Hey, Liberty Eylau, can't blame them. They took their shot. The unfortunate part for them is it didn't work.
Well, and not to make you feel bad, but if you're drinking at home, you now get another shot. Was a Jeff.
I called you Jeff.
So.
Sorry. Well,
but no, you're right.
Two of my best buds in the world both have similar names.
So. They want a first down at least here because they don't want to give Gilmer back the ball the minute to
exactly.
play.
Now they're going to drop back to pass again. Burton is there. It's completed. And out of bounds for a first down. They're picking on Kate Bowman.
Down spot.
Yeah, they're picking on Bowman here on the right-hand side. That's the third straight play that they came after him. 2 plays he had overthrows, or 1 play they had an overthrow, 1 play he made a great play on, but that play right there was completed, and now Liberty Eylau is back in business, and I think we can kiss the hopes of the Buckeyes getting the ball back on this drive goodbye.
Barring a turnover, but that's what Liberty Eylau needed to do because they were going to be in a bad shape if they got the ball back to the Buckeyes.
Very much so, very much so. Shotgun, trips out to the right-hand side, pistol formation. They're going to fake a handoff, roll out to the right-hand side, try to throw deep once again. And this is broken up.
Great defense. Way to recover. I mean, he had the ball in his hands, and the strength right there. Who was that? Once again, it's so hard to see the numbers.
Yeah, we're behind a dark pane of glass there. I think that was number 15. Yeah, that's Weston Mahan.
That was not Weston on that one. Sorry, Weston. I love you. You played soccer for me.
That's 13. That's Tyson Wilson on the defense.
I mean, he was able to pick the receiver up basically and throw him so violently around that he couldn't even hang on to the ball.
Yeah, the ball got slung out of the back of the end zone. 48.3 seconds now. Incomplete pass is they're no secret. They're going deep as he's going to drop back and throw this one out of bounds as Matt Burton was in hot pursuit and literally being tackled. So after last week where we had a flag fest, Joe. You can't buy one tonight.
I was like, let me explain. Weston played soccer for me, and I love him.
But he doesn't run like that.
He's 5'7", 130 pounds. So I was fairly sure that he did not pick up that receiver and sling him like that.
Yeah, that was Tyson Wilson that got that done on the back end. And once again, second down and long, 43.7 seconds is Liberty Eylau not shy about going to the air. They're 1 for their last 5. Drops back to throw again. Looks like he's going to be throwing deep again into double coverage. And Roflu-Ellen's out there, and that ball is incomplete.
Well, great competition. Only problem was for the ball. Great competition for the ball. Only problem was it was 5 yards out of bounds. So.
Yeah, and then another problem, number 17's back there. And if that ball is catchable, he's probably going to get it. Throws into double coverage. But now it is, Joe, we're going to look 4th down with 36.2 seconds left. 2 timeouts for the Buckeyes. Now,
if I'm Liberty Eylau, I just go for it. I mean,
no, they're going for it.
Punt,
but the question is, if they don't make it and it's an incomplete pass,
true.
The Buckeyes are, if they stop them here, run or pass, they're going to get the ball back.
With a couple plays, they don't have many timeouts left, but
yeah, they don't have long. He's going to try to throw it deep. Now he's going to try to rush. Gets absolutely creamed.
Oh, there he goes. All right.
And now Roflu-Ellen intercepts it, and look out, number 17's got the ball.
Oh, good tackle.
Oh, great tackle as he gets dropped.
Stop the clock. 24 seconds.
Down at the 30. Let's call it the 29-yard line, but Roflu-Ellen had that set up, and you know what he can do with it once it gets it in his hands. But 2 timeouts left, and now the Buckeyes could get into field goal position, Joe, here with just a couple of completions. Obviously, Brandon Tennyson very capable. We got a flag down.
Is that a flag? Yeah, they're talking. Okay, we totally missed that, but there's a flag. You see it right there on the bottom corner of your screen, right-hand side, and now the officials are talking. I'm not sure what the call is.
Oh, you got to be kidding me if that's roughing.
Oh, he hit him as he threw it. I was about to say, I thought he sacked him, to be honest with you, because I couldn't see the ball go. That's a terrible call. Okay.
I think they're going to call that as some kind of a hold after the interception was made.
The flag's right there.
Yeah,
right. The flag's right there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Buckeyes.
On a dead ball or
yeah,
because
it's a dead ball foul, so that is
going to be Buckeyes' ball. How'd they get a dead ball foul there?
I do not know. I have no idea. I don't know if somebody said something after he hit the quarterback or after the interception was made. It was a late hit. I have to go back and watch the film. We were watching the football, and that's going to back the Buckeyes all the way up to their 15.
Well, obviously that doesn't help because, with the amount of time you have, 15 yards makes a lot of difference.
The Buckeyes are going to take a knee on this one. There's no question. They have to take a knee.
That's another unforced error, basically, if it happened.
So watching the Buckeyes hit a knee there. 24 seconds left, and this is going to be the last play of the first half. And the Buckeyes are going to take it into halftime. 17-0 is going to be your final score in the first half. Folks, we apologize up front because we do not know how we're going to be able to get man coverage in tonight, but we will work on it and let the guru here, Eric Conitz, bail us out here. We'll come back with the band and halftime show right after this.
Smith Quality Meats, located at 604 Highway 271 South in Gilmer, just across from the junior high school, brings you the freshest cut, best quality meats anywhere. And now it is all right here in Gilmer. Just call 903-680-MEAT and let the experts at your locally family-owned Smith Family Meats set you up for your main course for any occasion. It is always prime time at Smith Quality Meats in Gilmer. Call us at 903-680-MEAT and tell Mr. Smith what you need today, so everyone at your house is happy tonight.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzy and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the award-winning Gilmer High School Stars Drill Team, directed by Donna Lane and Lauren Murray. Officers from left to right are Emma Warden, Senior; Leela Hamilton, Senior; Chloe Dixon, Sophomore; Sarah Warden, Senior; and Laney Drake, Senior. Star of the Week is Jordan Bradshaw. The Stars perform a streamer jazz routine to Hot Stuff. Stand up, Buckeyes, and cheer for the Stars as they kick to the fight song. Ladies and gentlemen, Gilmer Independent School District is proud to present one of the most decorated military marching bands in Texas, the pride of Upshur County, the UIL Sweepstakes Award-winning Gilmer Buckeye Band. The Buckeye Band marches in the traditional American military style. The band steps off to the Vienna Philharmonic Fanfare by Strauss, Cyrus the Great, and Nettermeyer Triumphal Marches by Carl Keith. The band is led on the field by senior drum major Jenna Height. The Gilmer High School Buckeye Band.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, You don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
Extra, extra! Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
Rowdy Creek Ranch, located on Highway 300 between Gilmer and Longview, is your destination for a world-class escape. With everything from dinner and wine tastings to weekend retreats in our unique and luxurious glamping park, Rowdy Creek is a little piece of heaven right in our own backyard. Corporate events, reunion gatherings, weekend getaways, and even dinner with live music are all on offer at Rowdy Creek Ranch.
For all of your oil change and automotive service and maintenance needs, drop by Pit Stop Oil and Lube in Gilmer and take care of it with the fast, friendly, and full quality service. Pit Stop Oil and Lube is your hometown car care professional and can take care of anything your car needs to keep your vehicle running great and to keep you safe and satisfied. Conveniently located on Highway 271 North in Gilmer, if you need an oil change or inspection, make a pit stop at Pit Stop Oil and Lube.
You've heard the saying, location, location, location. Well, at First National Bank of East Texas, we've got branches, branches, branches to proudly serve our family of customers across East Texas and beyond, providing the convenient banking and financial services you need to grow your business or to help you manage your money and fulfill your personal financial goals. First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
When you're on the go and you've only got a minute, your Sefco store's got everything in it. From gas to groceries, you can find it right here. Aren't you glad there's a Sefco near? Day and night when you need the best, Sefco quality's as good as it gets. You find everything top of the line, and hometown service saving you time. Texans know when you're on the go, make it Sefco.
Smith Quality Meats, located at 604 Highway 271 South in Gilmer, just across from the junior high school, brings you the freshest cut, best quality meats anywhere. And now it is all right here in Gilmer. Just call 903-680-MEAT and let the experts at your locally family-owned Smith Family Meats set you up for your main course for any occasion. It is always prime time at Smith Quality Meats in Gilmer. Call us at 903-680-MEAT and tell Mr. Smith what you need today, so everyone at your house is happy tonight.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzy and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck.
Yeah!
He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzy & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzy & Young.
Extra, extra! Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. You know, reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTax offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTax has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTax, local support from the team you trust.
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
Rowdy Creek Ranch, located on Highway 300 between Gilmer and Longview, is your destination for a world-class escape. With everything from dinner and wine tastings to weekend retreats in our unique and luxurious glamping park, Rowdy Creek is a little piece of heaven right in our own backyard. Corporate events, reunion gatherings, weekend getaways, and even dinner with live music are all on offer at Rowdy Creek Ranch.
For all of your oil change and automotive service and maintenance needs, drop by Pit Stop Oil and Lube in Gilmer and take care of it with the fast, friendly, and full quality service. Pit Stop Oil and Lube is your hometown car care professional and can take care of anything your car needs to keep your vehicle running great and to keep you safe and satisfied. Conveniently located on Highway 271 North in Gilmer, if you need an oil change or inspection, make a pit stop at Pit Stop Oil and Lube.
You've heard the saying, location, location, location. Well, at First National Bank of East Texas, we've got branches, branches, branches to proudly serve our family of customers across East Texas and beyond, providing the convenient banking and financial services you need to grow your business or to help you manage your money and fulfill your personal financial goals. First National Bank of East Texas, because together, we're better.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
When you're on the go and you've only got a minute, your Sefco store's got everything in it. From gas to groceries, you can find it right here. Aren't you glad there's a Sefco near? Day and night when you need the best, Sefco quality's as good as it gets. You find everything top of the line, and hometown service saving you time. Texans know when you're on the go, make it Sefco.
Smith Quality Meats, located at 604 Highway 271 South in Gilmer, just across from the junior high school, brings you the freshest cut, best quality meats anywhere. And now it is all right here in Gilmer. Just call 903-680-MEAT and let the experts at your locally family-owned Smith Family Meats set you up for your main course for any occasion. It is always prime time at Smith Quality Meats in Gilmer. Call us at 903-680-MEET and tell Mr. Smith what you need today so everyone at your house is happy tonight.
And back to Texarkana, Texas, where your Gilmer Buckeyes at the half lead the Liberty Eylau Leopards 17-0. For you Buckeye fans listening at home, the Rusk Eagles are leading the Carthage Bulldogs 14-7 at the half. We'll keep a close eye on that in the second half. In the meantime, we've got some first half statistics. The Buckeyes 19 first downs in the first half, possessing the ball almost the entire second quarter. The Buckeyes ran 38 offensive plays, plus they got an onside kick and an interception, which allowed them to keep massive time of possession. 14 minutes and 49 seconds compared to only 9:11 for Liberty Eylau. Liberty Eylau only 6 first downs. They had 10 rushing attempts for 49 yards. The Buckeyes 28 for 206 for the total yards gained rushing, which is an enormous number. Another 64 yards passing gives them 256 yards to Liberty Eyeslau's 107 on 6.7 yards per play for the Buckeyes. They did lose a fumble, very uncharacteristic of the Buckeyes, but in terms of fourth down conversions, they were 1 for 1. Third down conversions, they were 0 for 3. And they were 3 for 3 in the red zone in terms of coming away with scores. But as Joe said, this could very easily be, let's almost say, a 28-0 halftime lead for the Buckeyes. But they'll take 17, and they will get the ball, at least deferring to the second half, barring an onside kick. They'll receive the ball and have the ball to start the second half, and they would dearly love to put a little more space between them and the Liberty Eylau Leopards and hopefully be sharp. The Buckeyes were able to run the ball very impressively, especially in the second quarter, behind kind of the 1-2 punch. Ashton Haynes, that we all know about, the junior, and also the junior LaDaylon Jackson, just putting on a clinic in terms of running the football. Of course, you can't do that unless you block it very well up front. The Buckeyes had a slow start, but had a bend-don't-break mentality on defense, have a goal line stand to start the game. That's as close as Liberty Eylau has been as the opening drive. After that, it's kind of been all Buckeyes. Still some unforced errors that Coach Metzel would like to see cleaned up. But the Buckeyes will take a 17-0 lead into the third quarter and receive the ball and try to put some space between them and Liberty Eylau Leopards and get back home to Gilmer, Texas. They'll have the North Lamar football team in next week for homecoming, which the Buckeyes will look forward to. And then that big Week 10 showdown with the Pleasant Grove Hawks, probably for the district championship once again. The Buckeyes defending that district championship now for the first time in a few years. But the Buckeyes very proud, as Coach Metzel mentioned during the coaching show. And point of emphasis, they would like to run the table, carry the number 1 seed into the playoffs, and kind of have a repeat of next year as they go. So, Joe, coming into the second half, statistically the Buckeyes were dominant, but as you talked about, unforced errors, but the Buckeyes will take 17-0 starting the second half and taking the football.
Well, definitely will, and I'm going to shift gears a little bit and surprise everybody here and talk about the band.
There you go.
I really am, though.
I was going to bring that up, too.
I was just going to say that, this is Jamboree weekend. We haven't really talked about a lot. But if you're not a band parent or member or have been in the past, you don't really understand what these kids tonight are doing, because with the Jamboree, they started off with a parade today in Gilmer where they walk about a mile or so, mile and a half maybe.
2.2, thank you very much.
All right,
I've done it before.
And that takes like an hour to plus, and that's just the deal. They have to be there an hour before and all that, so it's a several hour deal. Then they usually do a little bit of a performance at the bandstand. Then they come to the football games on Friday night and perform, and then in the morning they'll get up and do the parade again, which will be the same distance but longer time amount because more people in it. And then they'll turn right, do a performance at the bandstand, and then go over to Buckeye Stadium for the marching contest. So these 2 days, you see the band perform about 4 or 5 times. So pretty amazing, what those band students are doing.
Tuesday in Pine Tree, they'll be competing for their state championship, which is crucial. They have, once again, they were the 3rd place band in the state last year, and wishing them all the luck in the world. We're going to talk to folks about getting that broadcast as well. Here's the kickoff to start the second half. It's going to be taken at the 21-yard line. That's Rockwell, number 5, and look out, he can go. He's got his head down, and he's tackled all the way at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Gilmer. Great field possession. That's a great return. 20 from the 20 to the 40. Let's call it 19-yard return for Keith Rockwell.
Well, the Buckeyes, of course, anytime you can get out, past the 25-yard line, that's considered a positive. So, now that you're at the 41, I guess they finally put the ball down. That was a really good return. Sets up the Buckeyes for hopefully will be another score and to really kind of put this game out of reach, hopefully.
Twins left and Twins right, offset back to the right. Looks like it's Jackson. I can't tell exactly who that is. It's Ashton Haynes, I think.
I think it's Ashton. We'll find
It's going to be a fake, and oh my goodness, what a run by Brandon Tennyson. He hits the Jets. He fakes 2 guys out with a pump fake.
And they almost hit each other.
And they
literally stopped and looked at each other and they both said to each other, I guarantee you, how did we miss him?
Yeah, because he's gone. He's 6 yards down the field. Moving it all the way down to the 41-yard line of Liberty Eylau. 1st and 10. Twins to the right. Offset back to the right is Ashton Haynes. This is going to be a handoff to Haynes straight up the middle. He breaks 1 tackle, puts his head down, and gets all the way down to the 33-yard line. 8 yards on that carry. Nice play as the Buckeyes just come out and then they're in rhythm, Joe.
Haynes almost looked, just kind of perturbed that somebody would dare try to tackle him from behind, just kind of shoved him off. Like, what are you doing?
Haynes takes the handoff one more time. Around the left side, he's got all kinds of room, makes a move, and a great tackle to chop down at the 21-yard line. Otherwise, he gets the outside break there, Joe. He moves the chains, obviously, but the offense is absolutely in rhythm.
Well, the Buckeyes' basically offensive philosophy is to give what do what the defense will give you, and it's obvious it's the run in this game so far.
Yeah, 3 down linemen. It's an odd man front, and the offensive line's having their way right now. Get ready for Haynes to carry this one again. It's a fake. It's a fake. And run down from behind as once again that defensive end comes around the left-hand side. Brandon's got to grow eyes in the back of his head at the next level. He loses 5. And that's just, Joe, one of those things where he comes unblocked and Brandon just can't feel him.
Well, and, as I said, you see they're giving us the run. Well, they are. It doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to try to be a little more, balanced because you got to keep them off face. But on that, something like that makes you think, well, probably going to run a little bit more.
Yeah, here's a Ashton Haynes run one more time up the middle. He cuts it right back to his right, and he's chopped down right back where he kind of left off from at the 22-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 now for the Buckeyes after that sack on Brandon Tennyson. Let's see if this isn't 4-down territory for the Buckeyes here too. Trips out to the left-hand side. Ashton Haynes going to be offset back to the left. Parker Gillow, the receiver, out to the right. That's the short side of the field. He's going to take that pump fake, come back to the other side. He's looking for Haynes, gets it to him, but he's going to be hit to the short side of the field. He's going to pick up 5 yards down to about the 16-yard line. Big hit, and Ashton's slow to get up.
Yeah, good play by the defense. I mean, good rollout and hit the receiver and good catch, but, that's a sure tackle. And makes the Buckeyes have a real, tough decision right here because at the 16-yard line, it would make for, about a 33 to 34-yard field goal, and looks like the Buckeyes decided we're just going to go for it.
Yeah, they got to get down the 11-yard line. It's 4th down. Coach Metzel going for the jugular here. This is going to be a rollout to the left-hand side. Brandon so accurate there. Throws a strike down to the 8-yard line. That is perfection to rope for the well, and you just can't execute any better than that.
And that so far in this game, honestly, that's been the difference in this game. When LE needs to throw to do, to continue the possession, they usually can't do it. And the Buckeyes have been able to.
Yeah, and I think we caught him again with getting an extra man. There is a flag down as the Buckeyes play fast, and we got an offensive lineman down in the backfield.
He's back up now, fortunately. You can tell he's hurting, though. Man, you got to love those big guys. I mean, I love those big guys.
They just battle up front.
If anybody come over to help him up, I guarantee you he'd have hit them, knock them away because I'm getting up myself. Let me go. And
well, the Buckeyes are going to cut this down to half the distance to the goal line.
And he's still walking around. It makes you wonder if something didn't happen and he's going to be a little bit extra upset on this next play here.
His defensive end across from him sympathizing with him, let's put it that way, as this isn't another illegal substitution, Joe.
It was a great call. Like I said, they hurried up. They can't get their men on and catch them off guard. And even though it was on 1st down and it was a positive play, hey, you don't have to use one of your downs and you're inside the 5 now.
1st and goal for the Buckeyes. Pistol formation. This is going to be a handoff to Jackson, number 21, touchdown Buckeyes. That is about as easy as it gets. Great blocking out by that duo of receivers led by Rose Llewellyn on the left-hand side. And that is exactly what the Buckeyes wanted to dial up for their first possession in the second half. It doesn't get much sharper than that.
Well, when you say it's as easy as it gets, you're right. But it's easy because everybody did their job and it was blocked, you know. I mean, that's how you draw it up. And normally, even when you draw it up, it's not going to end up like that. But so far, when it comes to those touchdown runs, man, the Buckeyes, for the most part, have gone untouched on the final, run into the end zone so far.
Yeah, just great blocking on the outside by the wide receivers. Here's Hernandez in for the extra point. Kick is up and good. Stretch this lead to 24-0. First drive of the half for the Buckeyes. 60 yards, ends in a touchdown by Jackson. 8:49 left in the third quarter. We'll be right back after these messages.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
And back to Texarkana, where your Buckeyes take an 8-play, 60-yard drive, 6 runs, 2 passes to stretch this lead to 24-0 here, opening drive of the second half, just as Coach Metzel hoped, deferring after he won the toss, gets to score on back-to-back possessions, and it works out just as planned as Hernandez on to kick for the first time in the second half. He kicks this one deep. This one's going to bounce and stay in bounds. That's a live ball. It's going to be scooped up at the 9, and the Buckeyes surround the defensive fence there and drop him at the 12-yard line. Great special teams play.
Well, I'd like to say, man, that's exactly how they drew up a kick like that. Of course, you can't make a ball do that. So that was a little bit of luck. But, that is what you want to do on special teams and bottle them up. And so, not only do the Buckeyes come out and score on their first possession to really lengthen that score and probably really put the game out of reach for the most part at 24-0, but then they followed up with a kick like that, and now Liberty Eylau is starting inside their own 15-yard line.
Well, it seems like Liberty Eylau is going to have to go back to that ground game that they had so much success with early in the first quarter as they stormed down the field, but since then the Buckeyes have just stood up.
And the problem is they're down 24, so if you want to do that, then you basically say, okay, we know we're out of the game, we're just trying to make it respectable. So do you do that or you try to go win?
Well, now they put in a new quarterback into the game. He has been the passing quarterback, but a delay of game penalty is going to back them up 5 yards. And 1st and 10 is going to add insult to injury after that special teams play drops them to start at the 13-yard line. Now they're going to back up all the way to their 8-yard line, 1st and 15.
And so they'll leave fans and broadcasters are probably saying the same thing we were talking about in the first half, unforced errors.
There you go. Twins out to the left-hand side. Quarterback takes the snap. He fakes it to nobody and runs up the middle, and he loses yards. That's a complete bust by the quarterback. Everybody else went left. He went right. And Kyle Jones having a hard time. That's going to be 2nd down and 15. And now look for the Buckeyes, led by number 44. Their big Matt Burton to lay his ears back and come put some serious pressure.
Another unforced error for them, so 2 in a row. You got the penalty and now this, and it's hard when you are starting at 15. But that's what happens when you start inside the 15. You're already like, oh my gosh, the goal line's right behind us, so just don't screw up, and then you know what happens.
You screw up. Here we go, 2nd down and 15 now. Once again, new quarterback in for Liberty Eylau. He takes the snap, rolls out to his right-hand side. He's got pressure. He throws on the run, complete, and look out, it's busted into the secondary, and sprinting down the sideline is the wide receiver all the way from the opposite side. He gets it into Buckeye territory all the way down to the 38, and he's chased down by number 10, the fastest man for the Buckeyes. That's a freshman, Caden Tennyson, and it takes all the speed he can muster to run him back down from his cornerback position. Chased him all the way across the field, but what a big 50-yard pickup.
Biggest play of the night. Biggest play of the night, obviously, and that was just kind of an unfortunate thing for the Buckeyes defense. They had it well covered. It was just a short pass, but because of where the blockers were, it just ended up being something that made them get free, and they've got speed to take advantage of that.
Once again, handoff to the right-hand side, and the running back is going to be stopped after just a 2-yard gain. So number 56, Borda, is going to put the clamps on that one pretty quickly. But, Joe, that got them out of a huge hole. As you said, 2 unforced errors in a row gets them down deep in their own territory, and
even if they don't,
that.
Sorry about that. Even if they don't score, Todd, they flip the field at least on this, and so that's a huge deal for them.
Yeah, and it looked like number 44, Matt Burton, maybe jumped off sides. Is going to be perfectly played and intercepted there by the Buckeyes, but that's probably going to come back, as that's going to be offsides against number 44 for the Buckeyes. That was a free play. They took their shot, but second down and 8 is going to turn out to second down and 3, as now we got unforced errors going on the other side.
Well, we saw that from Burton a couple of times last week, which is unfortunate. We talked about how Tommy Edwards has that football on the end of his stick, and those guys are always working. But in this particular case, because of his talent, they had Burton standing up over the nose guard and give him the free rein to kind of do what he wants and run. And he's just trying to time it and everything. And you'd like him to look at the football a little bit more, but obviously a penalty like that costs him an interception.
Well, Watson made a great play on the ball, perfectly covered. Unfortunately, the offside penalty moves up Liberty Eylau, and he's going to come around the right-hand side, and the quarterback makes 2 men miss, moves the chains, knocking on the door of the red zone. That is a great little scramble. It was a quarterback run that he cuts back, and boy, the momentum changed on 2 quick plays. An apparent interception by Watson gets called back for the offsides penalty, and then a run around the right side has Liberty Eylau knocking on the door of the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Buckeye 23.
Well, it's easy to see that Cal Jones at number 7, the quarterback, came in. He's a little bit quicker and faster than what they had in that position the first half.
Yeah, he's going to go up top with this one, and intercepted by the Buckeyes, and look out down to the 4-yard line. I can't tell the number on that play. Did you see who that was? I can't believe we can't see that. Oh, that's Caden Tennyson. No wonder. The freshman Caden Tennyson just goes up and makes an absolute stop. Now, you would talk about an athletic play, as he's playing corner and he drops all the way back, and that ball is just in the air for a little bit too long. And let me tell you, folks, there are 2 names that are freshmen right now between G and Caden. That's Jeremiah and Caden Tennyson. Those 2 guys are going to be factors. Probably you'll be talking about them, Joe, for the next decade or so.
Well, obviously, LA didn't want that to end in an interception, but, they did flip the field, and now the Buckeyes are inside their 5, and we'll just see what the Buckeyes can do with this opportunity.
1st and 10 for Tennyson and the Buckeyes. Takes the snap in his own end zone, hands it off to number 29, and he is dropped for a 1-yard loss. They may say he got back close to the line of scrimmage, but
yeah, I think they're putting it right at the line of scrimmage.
You got an offensive lineman that's down, and that is not a good thing. We'll take a quick timeout and come right back after these messages.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I'm all right. And back to the action as Jarrett Ritter was shaking up on the play. 6:05 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
That's our center, Todd.
Yeah, that's our center. So look out of what happens now as we got the backup in. 2nd and 10 from the 4-yard line. Not a place that you want to be nervous about the center. And we've got a hot route because here comes the blitz. And the Buckeyes hand it off to Ashton Haynes. 21. He fights, or excuse me, that's Jackson. He fights forward all the way to the 9-yard line. And that was very fortunate because he split the 2 defenders who were coming after Brandon Tennyson on that play, and that makes it 3rd down and manageable. Let's call it 3rd and 5. The Buckeyes need to get out to the 45 for a 1st down.
Looks like Bodie Henson, 53, is in at center now. And I'm not sure, don't they just slide down or something? I think Bodie's already a starter on that line. Am I wrong?
He is starting, but he's just not the normal center, which adds to his responsibility. Here comes the blitz once again. They pick it up, and escaping to the outside is Tennyson. He pulls it down, fakes out a man, and gets smothered down at the 6-yard line. He's going to lose 3 yards.
We'll be punting from our end zone now.
Yeah, we will.
Brandon okay? He's a little slow getting up, but looks okay.
Yeah,
He's limping a little bit.
Yeah, don't make me nervous, as we already lost our starting center 2 plays ago. And here comes the quarterback. Now, I think that's our starting center. That's Ritter coming back into the game. Is that right? Yeah, he is.
No, that was 56 that came back. Derek Borda. Because I'm assuming we're going to punt, or is this third down? Oh, wait, is that a flag?
No, this is 4th down. Yeah, that's a flag.
Wow, I didn't even see that when we started. We'll see what the officials have to say here. This could change everything, obviously.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Gilmer.
Well, I certainly missed that. I mean,
we didn't see any scuffle. We didn't see, I don't know what, I don't know. I'm sure Coach Metzel is going to be absolutely livid at that as the Buckeye punt team comes in, and Cody Guidry literally is going to be standing with his heels in the end zone.
He's got about 2 yards.
Yeah.
Before he's out, but considering he had an 8-yard punt last time.
Yeah, not sure that's going to be good. Here's Guidry with the soccer-style kick, rugby-style kick. It's going to bounce down at the 40, continues to bounce inside at least
I'll take it.
LE territory from his own end zone. That is about, he punted that ball and with the bounce about 67 yards. That's about as good as you can hope for.
It helps his average, let's put it like that.
Yeah, for sure, after that 8-yard punt. As here comes Liberty Eylau behind the legs and arm of a new quarterback. That is number 7. And we will get
He's got to be young.
a name very quickly on him.
Yeah, Cal Jones. I mentioned him, a little while. He's played quarterback for them this year and a little bit last year, so he's certainly not inexperienced. And you can tell that he's, quicker and faster than their starter in the first half.
1st and 10, Liberty Eylau from their own 44. Excellent field position. 4:54 left to play here in this third quarter. Motion around the right-hand side. They're going to hand it up the middle, and the running back goes untouched, and he is going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That is a 40-yard pickup on 1st down on a straight-ahead running play, as the Buckeyes get blocked off on 3 different occasions there and just get gashed there as Liberty Eylau is kind of having their way. They just had that one straight-ahead seam and speed to go with it, Joe.
This is all a result of that 50-yard play that flipped the field, like we talked about. The field's been flipped, at least, so far, because, Gilmer got the ball inside the 5 and couldn't do anything with it, and the punt went out to about midfield, and one play they're in the Buckeyes territory now. So
they're going to go right back to it as the running back hits a wall, and he goes nowhere.
There's a flag.
And we've got another flag down from the umpire. That is most likely going to be holding against Liberty Eylau. We'll see what the call is. Great job by the Buckeyes up front to seal that off, and then they cut off the cutback lane as well. So no place to go from the running back. We got a personal foul, face mask.
That's what I was afraid. I almost said, I don't think it's going to be holding because it actually was thrown as a tackle was being made. I didn't see a face mask. Like I said, we can't see very well. But, not to contradict you, but I was thinking, wait a minute, he threw that while they were tackling. So usually they don't call a holding at that point. So I was afraid that was going to be the result.
Well, from the umpire, now we've got inside the red zone, 1st and 10 for Liberty Eylau, trailing 24-0 with 4:39 left here in the third quarter. Behind Cal Ward, the new quarterback, who is really kept them in the end. They flipped the field on the Buckeyes. That big gash run really got things going on this drive, but they're in the red zone again. This is where the Buckeyes have bowed their neck all night.
Yep.
Motion, they're going to hand it off straight ahead, and Amaro is going to make the tackle after about a 2-yard and still on his feet.
That's a good
Second
run.
effort inside the 10, down to this, let's call it a 6-yard gain. And a little bit chippy down there as the 24-0 lead is not keeping those guys from kind of going at it. Let's see. Now we got a penalty going
Are they
another
saying
way.
there was a fumble on the play?
we don't know what the call is. Number one, I'm sorry, folks. It is very difficult for us to see.
The referee is, let's say, chewing out both teams right now.
Yeah, he is taking control of the game. He's gotten both teams to come in, and he's basically reading them the riot act and saying he is going to have no more of the chippiness going on as we've got substitutions coming in from both sides.
And what they do on that is they say, stop it, or people are going to start getting thrown out on both sides every time it happens.
Exactly. Well, there's no going back from it now, as the referee literally has taken time out and put his foot down, so to speak. But right now, the Buckeye Black Flag defense is going to have to put their foot down.
When he stopped the clock for a minute and started talking, he was moving his hands each way, and I was like, is he signaling it was a turnover?
That's what I thought, too, is that he pointed the other direction. What's going on? Is that, though, he's throwing a temper tantrum. Ward hands off to the running back, and he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown, as that's the same play that got gashed before. And Liberty Eylau hits the scoreboard with 3:48 left to play here in this third quarter. 24-6 is now your score with the extra point left to come.
Well, and I wonder, it's just me talking. I wonder, do you go for two? No, they're going to kick. I would say, because, if you go for two and make it each time, you can score 3 times and tie it up. So I just, with 3:48 left in the third quarter, I'm thinking, why don't you go for two and make it a 2-score game? But
58-yard drive.
3 first downs.
3 first downs. Kick is up. And it is good, and we've got a 24-7 lead, 3:48. Let's see if the Buckeyes can answer right after this.
3:48 playing third quarter.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
Back to Texarkana, Texas, where the Liberty Eylau Leopards went 58 yards to answer the Buckeyes' scoring drive to start the third quarter. Bring this score to 24-7 with 3:48 left to play in the third quarter. They'll kick off now, and this is only the second time all night that they have kicked off, both in the second half. We've got a score now, update 28-14. Carthage comes storming back and takes a 2-score lead over the Rusk Eagles. So for all of you guys that were hoping for Carthage to go down, probably not tonight, as they storm back in their district competition against the Rusk Eagles, who are a great football team in Rusk, 6-1. They have a McCowan at quarterback, which is always promising.
Well, if there's a team that can flip a switch and decide to play, it's Carthage.
It's Carthage. Well, here's a kick deep. It's going to be taken at the 5-yard line. That's Caden Tennyson, the freshman. Watch out. He can fly as he returns this out to about the 31-yard line, and he'll hand it over to his brother, Brandon Tennyson, that will bring the offense back on the field to try to answer this. And now we've got a flag, and here is where the referee is going to put his foot down, because he'd already warned him.
A Gilmer player literally flew at another Gilmer player and tackled him and threw him over to the sidelines to keep him obviously out of the fray. And then LE player came up and did the same to his side. So yeah, there's definitely some chippiness tonight.
Well, they call that against Liberty Eylau, unsportsmanlike conduct. And that is going to take an excellent return by Caden Tennyson of 20 yards.
I didn't notice who it was from the Buckeyes that went flying out there to get the Gilmer player and literally tackle him and throw him on the sidelines to make sure that he did not retaliate to make an offsetting penalty, and both of them get thrown out probably.
Yeah, that was a Buckeye player that was most likely faster than Coach Metzel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that'll be talked about this week. They'll say, hey, great job for going out there and getting your guy off the field and not letting him make a stupid retaliation, because usually it's the second guy that gets called, as we all know.
Twins left, twins right, offset back to the left is Jackson once again. He's had a great game tonight. Tennyson standing his own 40-yard line. They're going to fake that. There's going to be inside screen to Rockwell. Look out. He's got that across midfield down to about the 46-yard line. That's going to be an 8-yard pickup for Rockwell. That's a middle screen. And once again, we've got tempers flaring, and it's Liberty Eylau that is kind of trying to isolate players, and we've got an official timeout, and it looks like the officials are going to come over to the coach and basically say, look, enough is enough here.
I wish I I wish I knew what he was saying.
Yeah,
I'd really like to be in this conversation.
The coach for Liberty Eylau, Coach Davis, is going nuts, and on his own sideline, and the referee came straight over to him. He doesn't have anything to say to Coach Metzel. The Buckeye offense is on the field ready to play, and the coaching staff is literally out past the numbers on the field. They're going to substitute somebody in, and he's having a elongated discussion with the official, and that's the white hat. That's the referee.
We're going to tie it. I can't say, is anybody talking to Coach Metzel right now, or is it just the head ref talking to
No, the side judge is having a conversation with Coach Metzel, who's just ready to call his play and keep this drive going.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely not as intense as on the other side of the field.
No, I mean the referee right now is literally holding up the game, and if you're going to hold up the game, do something.
But now it looks like he's going to go to Coach Metzel now. Or is he getting back in position?
I don't know, but now,
getting back in position.
Now you have Coach Davis all the way out to the hash screaming at his team. And he's coming back to the sidelines.
I'm not going to say that Gilmer, he's telling his team to get back, and he's yelling at his team. And I'm not going to say that Gilmer has been, probably been angelic this whole time, but you can tell that the referees have told the coach that, hey, this has got to end, and Liberty Eylau's coach took him very seriously.
2nd and 2. This is going to be a fake handoff. Brandon Tennyson guns it out to number 17, Ro Fluellen. He's got an easy first down out to the 42. That's just a pitch and catch. Quick tackle made on that play, but moves the chains.
Well, and you got to love a play like that because, it's so frustrating, as a fan to sit there and watch a completed pass that ends up a yard short of the first down. So I love that, Ro knew where to go. Brandon knew where to throw it. He barely got it off before he got blasted from behind, and it picked up a first down, and the drive continues now.
Moves the chains, 1st and 10 from the 42. We've got a very offset player to the left-hand side. Handoff to Ashton Haynes straight up the middle. He goes for 6 down to the 36-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd down and 4 now for the Buckeyes. It looks like, Joe, too, that the pile is in the trenches is moving in the Buckeyes' favor now.
Well, and I think he came from the linebacker spot, maybe a safety spot, but they did kind of a blitz, which is a little unusual because he literally took off about 2 feet off the ground and dove through the ground trying to, I guess, just disrupt the play, and all Haynes did was step over him.
Yeah, 2nd and 4 now. Here's motion man. That's Ro Fluellen. Crosses the face of the formation. Brandon Tennyson's going to take that, roll out to his right. He's got all kinds of time. He tucks it himself, gets out of bounds wisely right where the line of scrimmage was. And
I tell you what, he gave one of those Liberty Eylau players real hope that he was going to have a fantastically hard tackle, and just left him standing there. Right.
And he was gone. It's nice to have wheels like that, and they are special. The athleticism of both the Tennyson brothers is something to behold. 3rd down and 5 now. The Buckeyes need the 32. Obviously 4-down territory for Coach Metzel. Let's see if they hand it to Haynes on this one. And they do, straight up the middle, and boy, does he have the 1st down and more. Cuts it into 30, gets knocked out of bounds at the 25, 1st and 10 Ashton, and he leaves a bunch of maroon and black jerseys in his wake as well.
I tell you what, if it, like we've said several times tonight, if it wasn't for the sure tackling by safeties and every now and then some corners, boy, the Buckeyes would have a couple more scores, or at least faster scores, because they've made some really sure tackles. It's just unfortunately for Liberty Eylau, it's been 20 yards downfield.
Yeah, and the running backs have been excellent. Of course, you can't run the ball that well, Joe, unless you've got great blocking up front. And we've talked about the snaps, and we've talked about certain things. I'm not sure if that's cramps that we've got
I'm not going to say anything about Liberty Eylau and cramps late in the game. If you're a Gilmer fan and been to a lot of Liberty Eylau games over the years, there's a little bit of a tendency.
Let's just say the defensive coordinators coached them up very well.
There'd
to slow
be a
down
lot
the
of cramps,
one way or
but in
another.
this case, I really don't think so. I didn't see exactly what happened, but they weren't really stretching or anything, and he's limping off. But yeah, in the past, it's been let's say a signature
move,
injury, or whatever for
a predictable predicament
for Liberty Eylau in particular.
1st and 10 Buckeyes from the Liberty Eylau 25, 24-7 lead. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Here is the snap across the face to 29. He butts straight ahead for maybe 2-yard pickup. Ashton Haynes, they're going to call him 1 yard to the 24.
And while not necessarily being the intention of the Buckeyes, because like we talked about earlier, they pretty much do what the defense gives them. But what this is doing is running more time off the clock, making it less likely that Liberty Eylau will have time to come back from this.
Once again, Roe Fluellen in the pistol formation, 3 yards behind Brandon Tennyson, something you don't see very often. Ashton Haynes offset to the left. They're going to hand this to Roe, and he's got the corner as he got a great block out there by the wide receivers. He picks up a quick 5 down to the 20. The Buckeyes will be in the red zone, and it is going to be 3rd down and 5 now for the Buckeyes with 1:10 left to play here in this 3rd quarter. Buckeyes leading 24-7, looking to stretch it out.
Obviously, we're trying to get Rowan Fluellen a little more involved in the offense and the running game. It's been mildly successful, but that was well defended by Liberty Eylau.
And just giving those defensive coordinators in the future something to think about on film. Here's Ashton Haynes straight ahead. No, this is going to be a keeper by Brandon Tennyson. Look out. He moves the chains, gets a 1st down out at the 13, and nobody touches him. I mean, he is so easily moved so quickly that it looks like he's effortless.
And he's really not a burner. I mean, he's not a 4-4-0 guy or anything. Like I said, he just I can't really explain it. Like I said, a force field plus just so smooth.
Yeah, he is. There's the handoff to Haynes once again, straight up the middle. Great cut. He puts his head down and gets down to about the 7-yard line, where the Buckeyes still can pick up a 1st down at the Liberty Eylau 4. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5.
There's less than 30 seconds. Obviously, I think the Buckeyes, they're not going to waste time here, but it'll be interesting to see if, they score before the quarter is over. And I don't know, they're taking a little more time than normal, but I think they'll still try to get one off before.
Thunder and Lightning, Jackson and Haynes, both in the backfield at the same time, flanked to BT's left and right. He's going to take the snap, hand it to Jackson. Now it is cuts off the block, makes another cut, down to the 1, and that's where we'll end this 3rd quarter. Buckeyes will be 1st and goal from the Liberty Eylau 1 with a 24-7 lead. We'll be right
There's
back.
A flag on the play, Todd.
Oh, let's hold it right here.
I don't know if they're going to put more time on the clock, but I did hear the whistle before the clock ran out, and of course on the defensive penalty. I don't think it applies to a quarter. I know you can't end the game or a half on a defensive penalty.
No, they would just put time back on the clock if they chose, and then you would have a dead ball snap, so you'd run one more play in the quarter.
But it doesn't mean they're going to put more time on the clock, but they definitely blew the whistle before the clock.
Yeah, the Buckeyes are backing up, so I think that's going to be a hold that they are going to call. Same line judge. Personal foul they're going to call clipping against the Buckeyes, or chop block, that's correct. And that certain official has cost the Buckeyes 45 yards worth of penalties in the last 6 minutes. But that will be the end of the quarter, and it is going to be I'm sorry. It will be 2nd down, and let's call it 14 once again, or 15. But, Joe, let's take a time out here and come back with the 4th quarter right after this.
Extra, extra. Read all about tonight's game in Thursday's Gilmer Mirror, complete with pictures, coaches' comments, and a look at next week's opponent. The Gilmer Mirror has been serving the citizens of Upshur County since 1877. Reading the news online is fine, but there is nothing like physically picking up your hometown paper, turning the pages, and catching up on everything going on in our area. If you're not subscribing to the Gilmer Mirror, you're probably missing out. It's one of my favorite publications, and I know you'll love it too. The Gilmer Mirror, www.gilmermirror.com.
Back to the action. 4th down, in the 4th quarter, 24-7, your Buckeyes lead, starting the 4th quarter finally. Take a little time out, Joe. Recognize we are at the scene in 2009 of then Coach Jeff Traylor's 100th victory as a Texas high school football coach. Obviously so proud of Coach Turner and Coach Traylor, our classmate, Coach Kurt Traylor, as we both know that that's the real brains of the operation, as Coach Jeff Traylor will tell you himself. Plus, Kurt Traylor's been lifting a lot of weights, and he can whip me and you at the same time at this point. So we're going to brag on our classmate and our brother, Coach Kurt Traylor, the tight ends coach at Texas San Antonio, a couple of future Roadrunners here. They're breaking records, school records, 7-0, ranked number 24 in the AP poll, 25 in the coaches poll. They've got a game against Louisiana Tech tomorrow night. I know you're going to be in attendance. And we certainly wish the Roadrunners good luck. There'll be a lot of people in the stands from Gilmer to support the 3 coaches from Gilmer and our new favorite team in San Antonio, the UTSA Roadrunners.
Well, real quick, something, to go off of a positive, but, still positive for me because of the life he led, but that was also the last game that Matt Camp broadcast
exactly
here, and of course, fellow classmate and basically a brother to us, and we sure miss Matt, but it's something I smile about.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully the Buckeyes can take another win away. That was 2009, and that led to a state championship. And the Buckeyes played very similar to that last in 2009.
I think the official just realized that it says 0.0 on the clock for the fourth quarter, and he's turned and trying to get the attention of the scoreboard operator to, hey, let's put 12 minutes up there.
Oh, and Coach Kurt Traylor just said thanks for the love. And yes, Kurt, we know that you're all rocked up right now. And yes, we love you, but we are scared of you.
Well, I made Todd say that. So Kurt, you need to buy me a hot dog tomorrow night.
They're in Ruston tonight. Hopefully they rest up and birds up tomorrow as we look forward to great things from the former Buckeye coaches, now UTSA Roadrunners. Here's your future Roadrunners quarterback completing a pass out to the left-hand side to another potential future Roadrunner. That's Ashton Haynes all the way down to the 10-yard line.
One thing I've noticed in the last couple of weeks is that Ashton has gotten much more involved in the passing game from the running back slot, and I tell you, he's very talented at catching the ball. Not all running backs can do that.
Hey, let me tell you something. You will be hearing from Ashton Haynes for, not just next year, but I really think, and this is really saying something, that there have been times over the last 2 years that he has been the best player on the Buckeyes team, and that's saying something.
Fantastic.
He is talented, unbelievably talented, and he's going to be a great college player too. Ashton takes it again, makes a great cut, runs through 3 tackles, touchdown, Ashton Haynes. That's what happens when we brag on him, is he just shows off the jets, makes one cut, puts his foot in the ground, runs through a tackler at the 5-yard line, stretches it out, and we should brag on Ashton more often because that was a thing of beauty. 11:44 left to play in this game, and the Buckeyes take a commanding 30-7 lead and stretch things out here to a comfortably. Now let's get healthy and go home.
Yeah, big props again to the offensive line. Great job blocking there, and they're just doing a very good job against, honestly, a very good LE defense.
No, hey, LE is LE. They are unbelievably talented, speed and size all over the field. But they have kind of woke up the Buckeyes, and that's probably not a really good thing to do in chasing a district championship. We've got another flag down from the side judge on the play. That's likely going to be offsides declined, and the Buckeyes are going to keep the points on the board. 31-7 with 11:44 left to play in this ball game. And Joe, we'll pitch it to commercial and come right back after these messages.
Because of investments in our surrounding infrastructure, eTex offers advanced improvements in internet connections, service experience, and quality of life for our customers. The driving force for eTex has been to create a state-of-the-art company using both the latest technology and local expert technicians, people you know. And best of all, a certified support team that delivers quality support within hours, not days. eTex, local support from the team you trust.
Back to the action, 31-7. Buckeyes stretch the lead behind a fabulous couple of runs there by Ashton Haynes. And we're just bragging on him. The power, the speed, the vision, and his ability. He kind of reminds me of Thurman Thomas when he runs. I don't know if you remember
that's a good
OSU, the comparison. Yeah. Just the speed, the power, the explosiveness when he puts his foot in the ground and makes a cut, but the balance. And, I tell you what's impressed me is how that's affected LaDaylon Jackson in terms of now LaDaylon is running like Ashton.
Well, and think about if he played on a team where he was a featured back getting the ball 25 snaps a game.
Which would be anywhere in the state.
Right.
I mean, at any level.
But you don't really get that at Gilmer because of the talent around you and the way they play their players.
Well, kickoff is deep by Hernandez, taken at the 4-yard line. Tackled by, I think that's number 12, Cade Bowman, is that right?
And
no, that's number 19 for the Buckeyes.
And then helped out by number 3, Orono, the linebacker.
Number 19.
Yeah, number 19 on that tackle is Pancho Gonzalez for the Buckeyes. Good defensive play there. Breaks down and makes a tackle on Speedy return man takes it at the 4, brings it back out to the 25, which is where he would have gotten it if he fair caught it. And let's see now, Joe, if we can run some clock and get out of here.
You know, obviously LE is going to do their best to, you know, try to go down and score. So I think it's a real good challenge for the defense, seeing if they can just limit them and keep them to 1 score this game.
Oh, intercepted by Hernandez, and he's got room. He cuts back. He's got a convoy, and he gets
unbelievable
into the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
Fantastic.
A shovel pass that gets picked off and returned by Hernandez, the kicker and the linebacker, and we've said it. And he gets in for the score, and boy, is he tickled, and we're tickled for him. Fantastic job there by Hernandez. Read that shuffle pass. That's that inside pitch pass and rolling out to the left-hand side. I think he may have seen that on film, and he just remembered, oh, yeah, I got to kick the extra point.
A lot of times the reason that teams will do that shuffle pass is because if it's dropped, it's it's an incomplete pass. And but you know, if it's intercepted, it's intercepted. So
in return for a
touchdown, great job by his teammates blocking for him and getting him in the end zone. But that's, I mean, you know, I didn't think they were going to have a chance to come back anyway. But that's certainly the nail in the coffin there if it wasn't already nailed shut.
Yeah, let's see now if things get chippy or if LE just kind of rolls over and takes the L here. Hernandez with the touchdown. And now with the extra point is good, stretching the lead to 38-7. Buckeyes lead, 11:27 left to play. Let's get healthy and go home as the Buckeyes have put this one out of reach with a little bit of time left to run the clock. Joe, let's take a commercial and come right back.
The Med Shop Pharmacy in Gilmer's features a drive-through pharmacy for all your prescription and over-the-counter drug needs. Place refills using our free phone app RX2Go or use our convenient auto refill line 24/7 at 903-680-2626. Stop by and see our unique gift items for all occasions or visit us on the web at gilmermedshop.com. And don't forget, the Med Shop is your flu shot and vaccine headquarters for the fall and winter season. The Med Shop Pharmacy, your friendly hometown pharmacy.
Back to Liberty Eylau now, where an interception returned for a touchdown, followed up by his own extra point. Doesn't probably happen very often, but Hernandez, the linebacker, gets the Buckeyes on the scoreboard once again, 38-7. And appreciate all the texts from Coach Traylor, Coach Kurt Traylor in this case, and he's the East Texas recruiter as well from Beast, Texas. And boy, I hope he's watching, because there's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball out here that you could kind of take your pick from, as is always. Joe, you talked about that 2006 team and all of the talent that came out of that
all
game.
The NFL talent on that field.
Oh, and not only that, but Will Middlebrooks, who was the kicker and the punter and the quarterback for LE, played third base for the Boston Red Sox for a few years. As we've got the return is going nowhere. Great coverage by the Buckeyes to bring him down at the 15, but forward progress at the 20 is going to give LE another opportunity to get back on the field and try to overcome that touchdown by the Buckeye defense.
You know, in a game like this where it's 38-7 with 11 minutes left, there's still things for both teams to play for, because for LE, obviously, like I said, they still are in the playoff hunt. They're going to make the playoffs. And so, you know, what are they going to do these last 11 minutes? What kind of character are they going to show their coach? You know, same thing for the Buckeyes. How hard are you going to continue to battle when you're up 31 points? And maybe give some of these backups a little more playing time that, you know, that what are they going to do, you know? So, you know, there's a lot of little things to watch for in these next 11 and a half minutes.
One thing to watch for is that it's hard to snap the ball with no center. As Liberty Eilau's center comes running onto the field last minute, Coach Davis takes a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well and come right back after these messages.
Growing up as a child in East Texas, I was always taught that I had to outwork my opponent. That same principle has carried over into our law firm. And for over 20 years, we've outworked each and every insurance company, lawyer, or corporation we've gone against. If you look at our results, they prove it. Put us to work for you, and we promise to never stray from the same East Texas work ethic that you were raised on.
Back to the action here, this time with a center. So 10 men on the field, and the quarterback and everybody looks around like, hey, the guy that's the most important guy on the field right now that's snapping the ball is not here.
Do you have to snap it to him, a quarterback? Can he just go up there and take it himself?
Somebody has to snap the ball.
Right.
Yeah, but you could. A snap is if you just move it. You can snap it yourself, but it's got to be snapped. And in this case, Liberty Eylau is going to try it again from their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Here's motion across the quarterback's face. He is going to hand it to the jet sweep, who is going nowhere. That's going to be dropped for a loss.
Well, that was the original starting quarterback handing off the ball to his replacement, who's
exactly
now back in at quarterback.
At quarterback. So taking out all the pages that they possibly can, Liberty Eylau, and probably trying to say, okay, that was probably planned for Coach Davis. You know, look, we're playing the defending district champion. If things get out of hand, which at this point they have, you know, let's make sure that we've got everything intact for the rest of our, you know, district competition and playoff drive. They've still got to play Pleasant Grove. Quarterback back to pass. He's going to throw that one to nobody. The 45-yard line on the other side was wide open, and he hit the wide open 45-yard line. Unfortunately, there's nobody in a maroon jersey that's anywhere close to that pass. That's going to stop the clock, Joe, and that's the thing that we don't want to see happen. 2nd down and 10 turns into 3rd down and 10 and stops the clock.
Well, and they're in a tough position because, like I said, right now at least they've had a tough time running, and so when you get that, you think, well, let's try to get it downfield and pass, and then you don't complete it and stops clock. So it's a hard thing for LE right now.
Here's a pass to an open receiver. He's going to be tackled short of the 1st down. That's going to be 4th down and about 2.
It's those type of plays that I'm, kind of sitting here saying to myself in my head, they should be doing those type of plays because, like I said, you don't have to have as much accuracy throwing 40 yards down the field as you do, 4 yards down the field, and do something real quick hitting where it looks like, you got that play action to go and then do it. They did it, but it's just a little too late. Still facing, a 4th down, and even though it's only about 3 yards, they're so deep now. They're just, they're calling it off. Say we're going to punt.
Well, here comes the Buckeyes, and they get pressure, and it is going to be received. Look out! Oh, Rowe, my goodness, Rowe just absolutely fakes a guy out at the 50-yard line and gives him a little jab step, and everybody freezes, and he just runs around like everybody's in slow motion.
13-yard return.
Joe, there are 6 maroon jerseys that had him completely surrounded, and literally up until right now, still nobody in a maroon jersey's touched him. He gets that out to the 44-yard line of the Liberty Eylau Leopards. So the Buckeyes have the ball in Liberty Eylau territory. 9:54 remaining, and
folks, remember we've been running most of this game anyway, but part of the Buckeyes offense is just simply some of these little short passes, which are more or less like a toss in a running game. So.
Here's Caden Tennyson taking this snap. The freshman gets to the outside, stiff arm, and he gets drove back, lost a yard, but the blocking on the outside a little bit different.
I was just trying to preface, because sometimes people say, well, why are you throwing the ball? You're up 31 points and everything. It's really no different. I mean, you're going to see some, I'm probably certain. But it's no different than back in the old days, a quarterback just tossing the ball 10 yards out to a running back run the ball. That's what Gilmer's little screen passes and things like that are.
Yeah, it's an extension of the running game, basically. And sometimes they're run pass options. This one's not. This is number 21, Jackson, straight handoff.
Made a guy miss.
Yeah, he runs 2 guys into the ground, out to the 35-yard line, moves the chains, and that is just raw speed by Jackson. And it's the same feeling we had last year during the playoff run watching Ashton Haynes as a sophomore run.
Just wait. We've got another one coming up from JV that I've watched on Thursday nights, including last night, and he ran a 800 meters over the summer, and you're probably going to see something very similar this playoff run where a kid that you've never seen all season is going to come in playoffs and make some significant runs for the Buckeyes in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second after this play. Twins out to the left-hand side. Tennyson in at quarterback, 1st and 10. He's going to hand this to number 21, Jackson, once again. Oh, what a cut. Spin move down inside the 20-yard line, picks up 6. But, Joe, last year at this time, we were still seeing big smooth, number 7, Jerron Choice. We were still seeing number 4, Cody Guidry, back in that backfield. Those guys hadn't touched the ball in weeks.
Season. Right.
And it's because when you look at now the Jacksons and the Haynes and the guys
and that's why you don't see Brandon Tennyson running the ball 15 times a game because he doesn't need to.
You're welcome, Coach Traylor. You're welcome. And boy, are you going to be happy when you do see him run when you get that opportunity. Second down is now. I'm going to hand it to Jackson once again. He pops through the middle, makes one man miss. Oh, what a cut. Literally a man falls down.
Wow.
That is unreal in terms of change of direction. That's another level. Literally, that man fell down at the 5-yard line. That is vicious. If you
look at his linemen.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like, that's embarrassing.
I mean, you got to see that love from the linemen. They're just, they just pick him up in celebration, to say, hey, man, we love the effort you give on that run. They're out there blocking their tails off, and to see a running back doing what he's doing and making guys miss like that,
that is ridiculous.
Those linemen, they get a ground, floor level shot of that. They get the best seat in the house to see that run.
Yeah, hey, Jackson probably is signing autographs on the sideline after that move. That is just ridiculous. We'll be right back as the Buckeyes. No good on the kick, but not Hernandez and the backup kicker in. 44-7 Buckeyes. Still 8 minutes left to play in this fourth quarter. We'll be right back.
Rowdy Creek Ranch, located on Highway 300 between Gilmer and Longview, is your destination for a world-class escape. With everything from dinner and wine tastings to weekend retreats in our unique and luxurious glamping park, Rowdy Creek is a little piece of heaven right in our own backyard. Corporate events, reunion gatherings, weekend getaways, and even dinner with live music are all on offer at Rowdy Creek Ranch.
Tate makes him look good.
And back to the action here after LaDaylon Jackson just absolutely puts up a highlight reel run for a touchdown. 44-7, the lead is stretched. But I tell you what, if we had instant replay, Joe, we'd spend the next 8 minutes just replaying that run as we were right next door to the coaching staff here, and we all just looked at each other like, did y'all just see what I just saw in terms of that move? He literally left the man broken ankles, legs, knees, and everything else at the 5, fell down and still scored. Hey, if you want to get up tomorrow morning and watch the game, just fast forward to 7 minutes and 58 seconds left where you can see that touchdown in the game. That was ridiculous.
I tell you, you talk about a stable of running backs that make the running back coach, Keith Tate, look like a genius.
Well, he's been doing it for a long time. Pooch kick up is going to be fair caught at the 37-yard line. And as you mentioned, Coach Tate's been here. He is a Buckeye first and foremost. He, went to SFA, played basketball there, was the head basketball coach, but has always been the running backs coach for the Gilmer Buckeyes. And boys, he coached some great ones.
He does a really good job, and I've heard over the years that, that he is such a good running backs coach, and which that says a lot about someone, because here in Texas, there's a lot of coaches. If they're a basketball coach, they want to be a basketball coach, and a lot of coaches have to coach football. But my understanding is that Coach Tate genuinely enjoys it, and if you got running backs like that, I can kind of see why.
Yeah, I'd come to practice to see that every day for sure. Here's a run from Liberty Eylau straight up the middle, and that's going to be hit by a wall of Buckeyes and pushed backwards, and will thankfully not be an incomplete pass and keep the clock running, Joe. So that is, if you're a defensive coordinator and you're breaking down film for the Buckeyes, you are generally not going to sleep good tonight, no matter what, knowing that at some point there's 2 of them back there.
Yeah. Well, and I think something that Gilmer people still kind of see them for some reason. They always think Gilmer is a wide open passing team. But honestly, for 20 plus years, they've been very balanced. Coming into this game today, Todd, the difference between running and passing per game was 0.8 of a yard difference. We were basically 50% perfectly on running and passing for the Buckeyes offense.
Yeah, busted coverage out there by the Buckeyes. Had that run break for about 35 yards for Liberty Eylau. Unfortunately went out of bounds to stop the clock, but a good run there by Liberty Eylau. Gets it down to the 34-yard line in Buckeye territory. And now we've got 7 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in this ball game. Pistol formation once again. Here comes the motion. This is going to be another run straight up the middle. He's going to try to break it around the left-hand side. This time, great defense there by the Buckeyes. Managed to stop the gap. I wish I could tell you who I saw. I think it's number 20, Hernandez, the outside linebacker that was in on that tackle.
It was.
And I'm not telling you because I can see the number. We are behind tinted glass, and you can literally watch our monitor and see better reflections and all in the mirror than what we're
well,
seeing.
I'm glad
outside
that we're
the
not
glass.
really worried about calling LE names since we're at Gilmer Broadcasting, because you really can't see the LE numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Pass out to the outside is going to be caught and dropped and falling down. And good coverage by the Buckeyes. That's number 31 for Gilmer is Kavion Brinkley.
It looked like for a minute, I thought, he thought he'd maybe have a chance to intercept it, and they were surprised by the catch,
Yeah, it was you had the receiver kind of take a false step, but so did Kavion. But nonetheless, it brings up 3rd down and long, probably 4-down territory for LE. 6 minutes left to play in this game and counting. Bad snap and barely gets the handoff, but backhands the handoff outside to the 25-yard line. That is still going to be close to a 1st down. And it looks like they are going to just give him a 1st down.
It was close at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And at this point, I'm not.
Yeah, that we're not getting
You're probably, but there's not very many referee crews out there that's not going to give them a 1st down on that. So.
Hey, Joe, all I can say is it's 10 o'clock already. We've still got 5 minutes, 48 seconds left. We've got 2 hours to drive back home, and we got the Roadrunners playing at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So
I got plenty of time.
Plenty of time to get where we're going. Here's a handoff up the middle. No, it's pulled and passed out to the outside, and that's going to be a 1st down. That was a good, well-designed play. It created a man-to-man scenario with the corner backing up and actually taking a few steps back towards the line of scrimmage. And suddenly he found himself back on his heels, and that's going to give the Liberty Eylau Leopards 1st down and 10 from the Buckeye 12.
It's funny because a minute or so ago I thought, okay, they're just going to go ahead and just keep running it and run the clock out. But, then they come back and hit a couple passes, and they're right back down there. And I mean, obviously, who can blame them? You want to score.
It looks like Liberty Eylau has just settled in, forgotten about the scoreboard, and just concentrated on executing. Right. Which is a really good thing. There's a slant pass inside the Buckeye 5, and that is going to be down close to a 1st down at the, let's call it the 4-yard line.
Todd, that's a very good observation. I really agree with you on that one, that it does just seem like, especially on this drive, that they just kind of relax now because they know they're not going to win, and they're not worried about anything, and they're playing very well without the pressure of, whatever it is.
Of a 44-7 score that's out there. They've had some bad snaps, excellent defense. One of the younger outside linebackers, I think that might be Braden Rash that came up.
Number 32.
Number 32 for the Buckeyes. That's not Braden Rash.
That's
Number
tomorrow.
32 is Morrow, who comes in, crashing from the weak side and blows that play up for a 2-yard loss. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 from the 7. Liberty Eylau can still get down inside the 3-yard line and pick up a 1st down. Pistol formation. They're going to run it straight up the middle. The back gets a cut. He is going to be inside the 1-yard line with a 1st down. Does not score, but stops the clock to move the chains at 1st and goal as the Buckeye defense has got some substitutes in there. Clock is going to continue to run.
Well, they've got some subs in there, but they've got some of the, of course, like I said, we sub all the time, so there's a lot of the players that get a regular playing time in there. We're certainly not just trying to wholesale, just let them score on kids that never play.
No, the Buckeyes are absolutely working on things on defense, and they got the quarterback outside, and he manages
that's
to.
Close.
No, he's down close to the goal line, but they're going to say he is not in as the line judge from this side comes in and marks him down literally inches short of the goal line.
Obviously, we don't have a great camera angle for that, but I didn't think he was in either. It looked like he bounced, but it was just one of those things where sometimes you don't know how they're going to call it, But no, I think that was a good call. It was a good, sure tackle. And, even if they score, it's fun to see a defense in this situation where your kids are really, really trying to stop them from within the 1-yard line on 4 straight plays,
Yeah, and here it is again, and they are not going to get in this time as the Buckeyes literally push them back maybe a half yard. They're going to give them back to the line of scrimmage, and that's being generous, quite frankly, and that's going to be 3rd and goal now.
That helps run the clock out, too.
That's the important thing is the clock has not stopped running for at least about 1 minute and 15 seconds now as we click under 3 minutes left to play in the game.
Obviously, if you're a Buckeye fan, you want to see the defense, somehow do this 2 more times and stop it. That'd be a great way to kind of finish this off.
motion across the face. It's an option going out the other side. Fumble. Buckeyes pick it up, and look out because the Buckeyes and Lauren Watson is going to return this for a touchdown.
Wow.
Nobody is going to catch him. He is weaving back and forth in the outside, and who is that? That is
That's Will Blakely.
That's Will Blakely, number 6. And I was going to say, I don't think Landon's that fast.
Yeah.
Because Will had hammered down, and there was nobody in a maroon jersey that was going to catch Will Blakely. And I knew Will's that fast, but I thought that was Landon playing out on that corner. But the Buckeye black flag defense, Joe, you look like a prophet on that play. The Buckeye fans get what they want as the Buckeyes stretch this out to a 50-7 game.
Well, I almost
said,
you know, odds are the LE will score, but you still like to see this, you know, chance to do a goal line stand. And lo and behold, I didn't say it, and a goal line stand turned into a fumble and almost a 95-yard return or so.
Yeah, 99.5-yard return. They were down at the half-yard line. Amaro in for the extra point kick as Hernandez has got his touchdown and extra point in, so he's retired for the night. Kick is up, and it is good. 51-7, Buckeyes lead. 2:24 left to play in this game. It's all over but the shouting folks. Happy Jamboree. We'll be right back right after these messages.
For all of your oil change and automotive service and maintenance needs, drop by Pit Stop Oil and Lube in Gilmer and take care of it with the fast, friendly, and full quality service. Pit Stop Oil and Lube is your hometown car care professional and can take care of anything your car needs to keep your vehicle running great and to keep you safe and satisfied. Conveniently located on Highway 271 North in Gilmer, if you need an oil change or inspection, make a pit stop at Pit Stop Oil and Lube.
And the Buckeye black flag defense comes up huge as we've had a goal line stand for the 3rd time tonight, not only inside the red zone, but literally inside the 1-yard line. And a failed option play gets scooped up by Will Blakely, and he hits the Jets and runs his 100-yard wind sprint and scores for the Buckeyes 51-7. They stretch this lead, and Joe, it's hard to think that this was a 2-score game, really, or a 3-score game, 17-0 at halftime.
Well, I think these teams are a little bit closer than the score indicates. It's just been one of those games that, you know, towards the end, kind of, you know, gone the Buckeyes' way. I would not want to play LE in the playoffs for some of these other districts and everything. Even last week's Pittsburgh team, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to play them either first couple of rounds in the playoff.
Well, luckily they're not going to be a 4th place team. No. So hopefully the Buckeyes start to circle that Week 10 matchup with the Pleasant Grove Hawks. We've got to come back to Texarkana, just a few miles from here to go to Pleasant Grove.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I was going to say, though, you know, next week, we're talking about the last home game of the season, senior night, Paris, North Lamar is coming to town. And we mentioned it, you know, last week, and I want to mention it again. The 1981 state finalist Gilmer Buckeyes team, the first team that ever made it to the state finals, is going to be recognized and honored before the game. And so if you're a member of that team, played on that team, coached on that team, please come next week to Gilmer and participate in that. We'd love to be able to honor you and your contributions to, you know, Buckeyes history. And that was a deep pass there while I was talking, and camera kind of missed it a little bit there. We're kind of looking at other things, but that was, we'll fire you, Eric. But just let you know, it was a deep pass, but went incomplete. But next week, you know, there in Gilmer, we'd love to see as many of those 1981, because I was 10 years old.
They were our heroes.
That was our heroes, and I've had a chance this week to kind of message back and forth with some of them, inviting them. And I mean, it's crazy. I mean, these guys, Ricky Stone and Chuck Wagner, and I mean, Darren Day, all these guys. I'm just like, they were heroes to me as a 10-year-old. You know, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Randy Burris and Darren Hollis and
George
Brazil and George Barnes, and I mean, all those guys that we for us, they were the first Buckeyes. Of course, back to the Coach Ragland era where the Buckeyes were, you know, a powerhouse. They were the resurgence in the early 80s, and people forget that the year before that, in 1980, the Buckeyes won their first district championship in a decade.
Well, and we had gone through our worst decade in the 70s. No offense to those guys that played and coached in the 70s, but to come right out and have a really good team in 1980 and have a lot of returning players in 1981. I think we had 19 players returning. Knew that we were going to be really good, and that team was very good. And I loved going and watching those guys play. And, like I said, for a 10-year-old kid in Gilmer, Texas, those 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, they were, football heroes to me. I mean, they were bigger than life.
Yeah, and Joe, that was a different decade, a different era, and a different UIL. Yeah, as it wasn't just a long time ago, but you remember back then when we went to by-district and got beat on penetrations, and only one team went to the playoffs. It was four games to the state championship back then. And that was the first team that made it possible, the 1981 team. And we're certainly looking forward to celebrating them as the pass gets completed out for a first down. Keep the clock running down to the Buckeye 42. And we are at 40 seconds left and counting here. And hopefully this will be the last play of the game. LE certainly still trying to score, but well out of reach. 51-7. We'll see if that is our final score. But once again, we want to say good luck to Coach Traylor. Coach Turner and Coach Traylor, our brothers that are there in Ruston tomorrow with a big showdown for the Roadrunners. Keep it going, guys.
Hey, does Kurt or Jeffy the one want me to bring a turkey leg or a corn dog or
something from Yambury?
A piece of pie.
I think at this point what they want to bring is just like last week: 2 pick sixes, a fumble recovery, a couple of key stops, and some way to shut down at least 3 of those 4 unbelievable wide receivers they got to face tomorrow at La Tech. And everybody knows this is going to be a tough game. I mean,
yeah, it's been fun watching them, and I've watched just about every game they've played since Jeff and Kurt have been down there. They're very good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them in person tomorrow night.
Well, there's a flag that may not come down because of the time in the game, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Clock continues to run to 9.2 seconds. But I will tell you this. I don't think Coach Turner, Coach Traylor, or Coach Traylor have thought 1 second about Yambury this week.
I'm sure they haven't.
Lots of things happening, but getting ranked, moving over to the American Conference, just so much stuff going on down there. It's got to be a whirlwind.
Barry Switzer ate a hot dog on the sidelines during the Cowboys Super Bowl season. I mean, couldn't Jeff eat a corny dog on the sidelines?
Yeah, the difference is that UTSA has a coach. Last run of the game, he's loose back in the secondary. The Buckeyes going to bring him down at the 38-yard line, and the clock is going to stop with 1.4 seconds. To give LE one more play of the game,
I mean,
and it's going to run out.
I was going to say, because that was just to move the
thing.
flag, to move the sticks, and that was it.
So for myself and Joe Dodd, thanks for covering for the voice of the Buckeyes, Jeff Rash. The Buckeyes moved to 3-0, ensure themselves of a playoff appearance. They got North Lamar on senior night next week before the big Week 10 showdown against the Pleasant Grove Hawks, most likely for the district title. And the Buckeyes defending that district title, once again trying to go for 2 in a row here in 2021. We will watch a great slate of football tomorrow, be pulling for those Roadrunners, birds up out there. And we will see you next Friday night back in Jeff Traylor Stadium, where your Gilmer Buckeyes will have their final home game of the season. Tonight's victory, 51-7, Buckeyes win. We'll be back next week. Go Buckeyes.